and gentlemen, welcome to the main event. Let's get ready to rumble!
Y'all ready for this?
BBB Sports in Johnston Coca-Cola proudly present the state's only live high school football action on cable TV. It's the Coke Channel 7 Game of the Week. The Friday night Game of the Week is brought to you by Coke, Eddie's Body Shop, Rome Medical Center, Scanlon Lumber Company, Junior's Restaurant, Victorian Square, Rocky Top Market, State Representative Dennis Ferguson, Rockwood Electric Utility, Rockwood Water and Gas, and Bunch Marine. And now for all the live football action, here's our experienced broadcast team of Ron Berry, Tony Brown, and Brad Berry.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Civitan Field. Rockwood High School tonight taking on the Sweetwater Wildcats. Region play this week, week number 6. And certainly a beautiful, beautiful evening here as we look over Walden Ridge here as, again, Sweetwater Wildcats in town for this homecoming event here, 1998. So we'll have a lot of pageantry as you see some of the fancy dressed young ladies and young men as you'll observe as our cameras are catching some of the folks coming in to the stadium here tonight. Expect a big crowd on hand for this region game, and certainly we'll be bringing you all of the festivities as tonight's game progresses. Our pregame brought to you tonight by Domino's Pizza, located across from Ace Hardware in Harriman. 882-2424 is the number. They have fresh, hot pizza. You can carry it out or pick it up, and they're open until midnight on Friday and Saturday. So again, we would invite you to go by, see the fine folks at Domino's Pizza for some piping hot pizza along with U.S. Cellular. And folks at U.S. Cellular providing all of the communications needs here at BBB, and certainly would invite you to go by over in Kingston and visit with them and let them take care of your communications needs as well. Well, around the region tonight, a lot of big ball games taking place as Clinton will be at Farragut in a big ball game tonight. Carnes at Oak Ridge, Lenore City at Austin East, Maryville at Carter as Maryville continues to try to stay ranked number 1 in the state in 4A. South Doyle will be at West. Alcoa 2-0 in Region 2A at this point. They'll visit Tellico Plains. Boyd Buchanan will be at Crosstown Midway, Cross County, I should say. Cofield is at Oneida as Oneida remains undefeated. Cosby is at Powell Valley. Cumberland County will be at Cookeville. Gatlinburg Pittman is at Unicoi County. Harriman will be at Jellicoe. Kingston will be at Loudon. Oliver Springs will be at Wartburg. Seymour at Rutledge, Sunbright at Oakdale, and of course, again, the game of the week here, the Coca-Cola football game of the week, will have Sweetwater at Rockwood. And in the region standings, first we'll go to Region 2A. Alcoa is 2-0, Oliver Springs 2-0, Jellicoe's 1-1, Rockwood 1-1, Harriman 1-1, Sweetwater 1-1. Wartburg and Tellico Plains 0-2 in the region. So after tonight's game, we'll have some division amongst those region play. So again, tonight we'll start separating some of the ties that we have within the region. Doesn't seem possible that we're in week number 6, but that we are, as high school football 1998 is past the halfway mark for the regular season, and a lot of teams now trying to vie for playoff position. So every game down the stretch now becomes very, very big. But also tell you that as we look out onto the field, As you remember last week, Greg Ewing injured for the Tigers in street clothes tonight. So as you look out, number 10 out on the field, 35-yard line, Greg Ewing in street clothes for the Tigers tonight. So we'll have to see how, as you see Greg Ewing talking to Coach Paul Kamakawa, we'll have to see how Coach John Webb realigns the offense with Greg Ewing on the sidelines. Talking to one of the Sweetwater coaches as we came in, and they too besieged with some injuries. So both teams will not be at full strength here tonight. Good crowd coming into the stadium here tonight, and looks like we're going to have a big crowd on hand for this homecoming game. So invite you to stay tuned right here on Channel 7 for the Coca-Cola Game of the Week, as we will be bringing you all the action, and certainly the Sweetwater Band and Rockwood Band be performing here as it is homecoming. And I think the Sweetwater Band will be performing pre-game, and of course the Rockwood Band will be taking care of the halftime festivities, and of course my sidekick Brad Berry on in the stands needs to get on up here and help his poor old pop, and he'll be venturing up here, I'm sure, in a little bit to help us bring you tonight's action. But again, just a beautiful, beautiful evening here at Civitan Field. Homecoming 1998, and certainly a lot of alums coming back to be here for homecoming, and a special time in the lives of the current students, as well as from the folks who haven't seen each other for some time. So the crowd coming in, and the Civitan Club had a big pancake supper over in the high school cafeteria earlier this evening, and appreciate everyone coming out supporting the Rockwood Civitan Club. Again, Sweetwater coming in tonight, and Sweetwater was on our Game of the Week a couple of weeks ago as they came over to Harriman and saw a Sweetwater team there that was down a little bit that night. They've been somewhat up and down over the year as the years progressed. They were defeated Wartburg 41-0, so obviously they can put the numbers on the board, but then have a overall record of 1-4. So the Sweetwater victory being the lone victory for the Wildcats this year. So they come in tonight and looking for, in fact, looks like a change. Ben Downs was the quarterback when they played over at Harriman, and it looks like tonight Graylin Ferguson, the junior, may get the nod at quarterback for Sweetwater. So both coaches know the importance of tonight's game. The loser will drop to 1-2 in the region, and the winner will move up to 2-1. So as we close in on the end of the season, each region game now looms huge to every team in the region. And again, tonight, after tonight's over, we'll get a little better feel for the region alignment, and joined now by Bradbury, and they got you on camera coming up, so you had to come on up, I guess.
I guess I'd been called there coming up the steps, so I had to get on up here and get things going. But another exciting night here at Civitan Field. It's homecoming this week, and just look forward to a big game here against the Sweetwater Wildcats. So look for something exciting tonight, and just a good high school football game. You know, sometimes during homecoming week the players can get distracted. I'm sure that's something Coach Webb really emphasized this week, to stay focused. It's a fun time for the community and the school, but there's a game to be played here on Friday night, so it's really important that they stay focused and their task at hand here. It's a big region game, as you said earlier, and winner of this game tonight is kind of gets back into the season, you know, gets into the race for a playoff spot. So big game here tonight, as I believe the rest of the games on here on out are region games. So big game here tonight at Civitan Field.
Of course, Brad, before you got here, we also talked about Greg Ewing on the field in street clothes, a big loss for Rockwood.
And that's where somebody tonight has to step up. Look for Clay Barnes, Brandon Ashley, Reggie Chapman, and and some of the offensive linemen to say, hey, guys, he said, you know, Greg's out. He's our workhorse, and we're going to make it happen tonight. And this is where, you know, the team game of football comes in. You lose your big power running back, and you have to do something to make up for that. And you know, this is where all 11 have to play the game tonight.
Well, and you're exactly right, and I'm sure Coach Webb has worked on the game plan this week, knowing that Greg probably would not be in the starting lineup and probably unavailable as well. So I'm sure he's come out and you know, you can look for probably several different looks tonight. Might even look and find Nick Holloway playing some fullback. And the fullback position tonight, Brad, could be really big because of the blocking abilities. The fullback is going to have to be the lead block. He's the key block when they run the option or try to get outside. So whoever's filling in at the fullback position tonight will have a lot of responsibility.
That's right. And, you know, Coach Webb's not surprised by this. You know, he's going through the end of the week. He's prepared for Greg not playing tonight. So I'm sure his game plan is going to be to keep it simple at first. Probably got a young quarterback starting the game tonight in Isham, number 4 for the Tigers, so probably his first start of the year. And you know, look for him to be under the gun tonight. So just as we're watching the Tigers prepare here in the offense and defense on the field, just some replacements on the lineups.
Well, not sure that Isham may be the starting quarterback, but he'll certainly, you know, loom large in there. And in the event that Brandon Ashley is the quarterback, you know, look for him to perhaps carry the ball a little more than normal. They're going to need, as you mentioned several of those names, Reggie Chapman, another performer that's going to have to step up tonight. And special teams, again, we talk about it every week, and thus far it's proved us correct, Brad. Special teams in almost every game we've done this year, sometime during the game has helped to either open the game up or there's been the big play.
And back to Greg Ewing, he's their kicker. So right off the bat, special teams is definitely a big point tonight in this game, and a very important matchup is they're going to have to call on Wyatt Wilson, the backup kicker. You know, a point in the extra point games can mean a lot down through the end of the game and as the game is close.
Well, Sweetwater Wildcats come in, Brad, and this is a rivalry that over the last about 8 years has really developed into a real rough rivalry, more so than really some inter-county rivalries, because both of these teams in the early 90s were really good football teams. They really got after each other, and a couple of these Sweetwater coaches were part of those programs then. And so this has become one of those rivalries that when you look at the schedule, you really didn't used to have to count it as such, but now you have to be as ready for this ball game as you do the Kingstons and the Harrimans.
That's exactly right. This rivalry has grown, as you said, but as you can see across the field, Sweetwater tradition is not the same as it used to be. They used to bring fans by the thousands, and they would pack the bleachers, and they would start the cheer and the clap and the Sweetwater chant, and you know, that was pretty intimidating. And now they don't have enough guys to get a big chant going. So times are changing now in high school sports, but both these teams still play good, hard-nosed football, and it's still going to be a big rivalry. And you know, this is still good region football, and so these games are important now toward the year and as the year is winding down. So tradition might be gone a little bit, but the games are still very, very important.
Well, in talking to some of the coaches, they've had some injuries as well as a Rockwood team, and indicated that they perhaps were just 1 or 2 players away, Brad, from having a good football team. So this is a big ball game tonight. Coach Webb is waiting to see how his team's going to react to the injuries with Greg Ewing. Sweetwater coach is still trying to figure out which team is going to show up. They've been up and down with each game this year, so both of these coaches will find out more about how their region standings are going to come out after this ball game.
And as you said there, talking about Coach Webb and just the injury to Greg Ewing, this game tonight has a big bearing on how the rest of the season goes. And Rockwood's not played real bad in any of the games, they just had some bad breaks. You know, in Alcoa, they lay the ball on the ground. Probably the better team in that game. They just had some bad breaks, and you can't do that. And you play a team that can capitalize like Alcoa did in that game, you know, you get behind. So turnovers are a big key in high school football, definitely, as well as special teams. And tonight's going to be a key for Rockwood, just to hold on to the ball and keep it in their possession and make things happen and put points on the scoreboard and let their defense, probably one of their strengths this year in the defensive front, linebackers, and secondary, let them win the game. Offense sells tickets, defense wins championships. So look for Coach Webb to count on them tonight and just come out playing hard.
Sounds like you've been talking to Coach Hoot Gibson.
Well, he should know about winning championships.
And know about the defense, right?
That's right.
Again, pregame show brought to you by Domino's Pizza. Across the street from Ace Hardware, Highway 27, 882-2424. They'll have your piping hot pizzas. You can either pick them up or they will deliver them. And they'll deliver on Friday and Saturday nights until midnight. So call, get your pizza, sit back, relax, enjoy the Johnston Coca-Cola Game of the Week here on Channel 7. And if you need to make any calls while you're out and about tonight, U.S. Cellular will handle all of your communications needs. They certainly handle ours here at Channel 7. We're appreciative of them and really appreciate them being a sponsor here of the pregame show. Sweetwater High School Marching Band out doing the pregame festivities. And, of course, at halftime, the Rockwood High School Marching Band will be performing, as all of the halftime festivities will be brought to you here on Channel 7 as they unfold. Well, if we've got a commercial, Brad Jones, let's go to a commercial break, and we'll be back with more pregame show following this word.
At OEB, we know lives have changed. Parents have become teachers, and our homes are now our offices. The roads may seem empty, but people are still driving and still working. And when they get injured because someone else was careless, they know they can still depend on us. We are OEB Law, and the one thing that hasn't changed is our commitment to helping people right here at home. We're just a phone call away. 865-546-1111. OEB Law. Tennessee Barnes & Buildings in Jacksboro has all your storage building needs. At Tennessee Barnes & Buildings, you can pick out your building, then custom design it how you want it, and then have it delivered. Our friendly staff will help you with all your design needs. Are you worried about financing? Well, at Tennessee Barnes & Buildings, there's no credit check, so no one is turned down. Plus, you can rent to own your own building. Tennessee Barnes & Buildings in Jacksboro says come on down and see Hannah or Mary Beth for your next building. Or call 423-449-8139.
Muncie Pharmacy is your locally owned hometown pharmacy. They accept most insurances, so why go to the large chain pharmacies when you get better customer service at Muncie Pharmacy? Have a special prescription that needs compounding? Muncie Pharmacy can handle those needs as well. Muncie Pharmacy has a drive-thru for your convenience and offers free delivery in the Oak Ridge area. And don't forget the gifts that we have available for all occasions.
Here at Muncie Pharmacy, we take the time to know you and treat you like family.
Earl Duff Subaru in Harriman knows safe and reliable transportation is essential right now. Whether you need service or to replace your current vehicle, we're ready to help. Our building is sanitized to keep our customers as safe as possible. Plus, we're offering pickup and delivery service during the crisis. Earl Duff Subaru in Harriman, Tennessee's only 9-time winner of the Love Promise Award for customer satisfaction. This month, all Outback, Forester, Ascent, Legacy, and Impreza models have available 0% financing with no payments for 90 days.
Well, welcome back, as again you see some of the participants here in tonight's homecoming festivities, as we'll have lots of dressed up young ladies and young men here participating in the halftime crowning of the 1998 homecoming king and queen. Can have the Rockwood Band playing our national anthem. Well, our pregame festivities are concluding, and that will conclude our pregame show brought to you by Domino's Pizza across from Ace Hardware on Highway 27 North. Call 882-2424 for your piping hot pizza. They will bring it to you, or you can pick it up at Domino's. They'll deliver tonight until midnight, and as well as tomorrow night. Also, U.S. Cellular for all your communications needs, the way people talk. U.S. Cellular over in Kingston. Certainly people here at Channel 7. That's our official communications. And as the captains, Wyatt Wilson, Derek Pear for Rockwood will be meeting with the captains from Sweetwater. Ben Downs is one of those captains, along with Steve Plemons and Daniel Kyle.
I believe the referee we have tonight is the same enthusiastic referee we had at Harriman when Sweetwater played over there, so he's back again for some exciting football here tonight at Civitan Field.
And one of the other things about Sweetwater that we've noticed, Brad, generally coming in a big physical football team, you don't see that physicalness as much tonight as you have in the past few years.
That's true. Last couple of years they've had some good size defensive linemen, offensive line, and good looking running backs, and tonight you don't see that in Sweetwater. And you know, that's probably something that it cycles through, and every school their size and Rockwood size goes through that every now and then, where the talent's not the same as it has been, and you don't get that same good crop of athletes like you're used to having. So you know, that's something that all schools and in our region and around us that have to face, and that's just something you have to deal with it and just prepare the best you can.
Well, the captains have met. Rockwood won the toss and defers until the second half. So, well, I thought I wasn't really paying attention, Brad. We'll have to find out. It looked like they were saying that someone deferred, so we'll find out here just in a moment. So Rockwood will receive, and Coach John Webb wants to do exactly what we mentioned, Brad. They want to get the football, take it down the field, eat some time, and put some points on the board. And here come the Rockwood Tigers onto the field. So homecoming 1998 here at Rockwood High School, and always a special time, Brad, homecoming.
It always means a lot. A lot of people come back to watch the game. Some alumni is back in town to watch the game, but guys with the helmets on still have to remember there's a game to be played tonight, and they need to take care of business, which I think they will, and remain focused and just stay ready to play this game tonight.
All right, so we've about talked it to death, folks. The action will speak for itself now. Glad to have you with us tonight for the Johnston Coca-Cola Game of the Week. And looking, Brad, for that familiar sight on the sidelines, Dr. Tom Evans, but I don't see him.
Well, Carson Zuman's away this weekend, so I can tell you he's not going to be in Jefferson City. He probably just run a little late tonight, but
looks like
sure he'll be here.
Dr. Wakeham walking the sidelines for the Tigers tonight. So it has to be an awfully important occasion for Dr. Tom not to be here.
We've still got a little while. He can still show up here in a few minutes.
Sweetwater lining it up as they will be kicking off to the Tigers, and Andy Chester, the senior, will be doing the kicking, and going back deep for the Tigers will be Clay Barnes and Mr. Reggie Chapman. So the Edwards Shoe Store kickoff. For all your wardrobe needs, it's Edwards Shoe Store. So go by and see them for suits, shoes, ties, dress shirts, sports shirts. They've got it all. This football game is underway as the kick will come down to the 18-yard line and will be Nick Holloway on the return. He'll get it out to about the 24-yard line.
Short kick there by Sweetwater. as 89 was Andy Chester, the kicker for the Sweetwater Wildcats. Kicked it short. Nick Holloway did a good job of fielding the kick and getting what he could out of it. The Tigers will start about their own 24-yard line with Brandon Ashley starting out at quarterback. Opening up in their strong right formation. Sweetwater Wildcats will run about a 4-3 defense. Toss sweep.
Chapman unable to get outside, Brad, has good penetration that time by the Wildcats.
You know, we saw Sweetwater earlier in the year at Harriman, and they did a real good job throughout the game of really stopping the run and penetrating the gaps and everything. So they're really playing well defensively and really aggressive.
And as we mentioned, this is the kind of game that if you let Sweetwater get a little bit of confidence against you, as the game progresses, it gets tougher and tougher to gain that momentum back.
That's exactly right.
So again, Reggie Chapman lining up behind Clay Barnes, and Barnes this time front man through, and Barnes really stopped at the line of scrimmage, and because of his great balance, Brad, gets it out to about the 28-yard line. He should have been stopped really at the 25.
Really wasn't nothing there. The Sweetwater defensive line kind of stood the offensive line of the Tigers up and just shut everything down. There wasn't a hole there, and like you say, he just kind of took it upon himself and just found a little hole and just escaped up through there.
Great balance by Clay Barnes. Big third down play now. Third down and about 6 for the Tigers. And this time Barnes again on the little keeper, and Barnes will be short of the first down. He'll get it out to about the 33-yard line. And it's going to be 4th down and about 2.
And there's where, if you're Coach Webb, you want to get a little bit more than what you did on first down, so you don't end up in 3rd and 7, 3rd and 8, and you're forced to pass or get into a passing situation.
And on the first series, Brandon Ashley doesn't keep the ball at all, Brad.
And here's an example, punting. We have Wyatt Wilson tonight. Gets off a good punt, but you know he's punting tonight for Greg Ewing, and can't believe there wasn't a flag on that play.
Looked like that's what he's asking him. You know, he said I had the fair catch as Downs talks to the official, but it wasn't a vicious lick, so they're going to say, well, no harm.
Well, there's still that halo, 2 or 3 yard halo around the receiver that you can't violate. So a rule's a rule no matter how hard you hit them. So fortunate break there for the Tigers.
Well, Ferguson is at quarterback for Sweetwater, Brad, as we indicated in the wishbone. And to give to the first man through and coming up to the 40-yard line will be Steve Clemens. And looked like for a second there was a hole there, but the Tigers did a good job of quickly closing the hole.
I think Nick Holloway was on the tackle and made a real good tackle there, closing down the hole, and looked like the Wildcats coming out, maybe showing a little option out of the wishbone there with a dive to the fullback.
So the Wildcats will have it 2nd down and about 9.
And now they come out in like a run and shoot formation. Again, they fake it up the middle. And that's probably a good example why Ferguson is at quarterback right now, as he showed some speed as he attacked the gap and he put it up in the hole.
And as we mentioned earlier, see, that may be the thing that Coach Webb was not able to prepare for, was the difference in the quickness of the quarterback. That time Ferguson gets to the corner, turns it up, and that was a good-looking play.
Well, 3 plays now. They've run 3 different formations. So and here again they line up in somewhat of the run and shoot with double tights and 2 wingbacks.
Ferguson this time trying to go the other way, and Pear on the stop there as he filled the gap for the Tigers and did a good job of it, a loss of about 1 yard. And that time Ferguson probably didn't read as well as he should have. He had the option man. If the linebacker's on him, he had a man running free.
And it looks like the Wildcats are just pretty much staying with a tight formation now, as they're running just double tights and 2 wingbacks, so really staying tight and just trying to pound everything right up the middle.
Spread it out a little bit this time. 1 running back. Ferguson back to throw, being pursued. Throws it out and had a man open, but unable to complete the pass that time. Looked like he didn't get his shoulders turned real well and squared up to his target. Throws it in the dirt.
And there was good pressure that time by Ben Pemberton up the middle. He shot right up the middle and kind of got Ferguson to hurry up his throw a little bit, but Downs was running wide open down the sideline. So look for the Sweetwater Wildcats to come back to that play later on in the game.
And also keep in mind that Downs is a quarterback, former quarterback, so look at some point in this game perhaps for some kind of a trick play from quarterback to quarterback. Rolling back around, there he is again, Downs wide open, and Downs will be short of the first down mark by about a yard, so it'll be a big call for Sweetwater. You're 1-4. This might be an opportunity where you gamble a little bit. Let's see exactly where they mark it.
Tough break too for the Wildcats. If you're Downs, you've got to go. You've got to know where the marker is and at least get to it and make it a little bit closer than what it was.
We've got an isolation on Downs right now, and you'll see him go down. And like you say, Brad, he's got to know where that marker is.
Pretty good tackle by Brandon Ashley there to keep the Wildcats short of the first down.
Well, it's 4th and a long yard, and the Wildcats come out. Let's see if they try to freeze. They do, and they get the first down. So
I'm not sure. I'm not sure if they didn't jump off sides and before the Tigers did. So it looks like the Wildcats jumped off and going to push their own selves back.
Okay, good observation on your part. I didn't see the back flag. I saw the front flag, and it looks like the Tigers are. Surely this isn't going to be one of those deals now where they penalize both teams.
Well, it'd be a tough break if it was, because it looked like the tight end on the right side jumped early for the Wildcats, so now they'll probably try to figure out who was drawn off.
Well, a long discussion by the officials. Now we're going to get the signal. Offsides, Tigers. So whoever threw the first flag, I guess, got the first call.
Well, it looked like to me that the right tight end for the Wildcats had jumped off sides, and then we had movement from the Tigers, so I guess it was just a decision on who drew the other team off sides. So
big play, though, for the Wildcats as it gives them a first down. And again, they spread things out with one running back, Clemens and Ferguson this time on the pitch. Well, Brad, the Tigers had it played a lot better, or it looked a lot better than the yardage they're going to get out. Looked like they had it turned in. It looked like they had a good angle on the tackle, just unable to complete the play.
And that time, a good job running an option by Ferguson. He made the end attack him, made him take him out of the play, pitched off to 16 for the Wildcats. Jonathan Mercer had good running room. He just turned it up and got some good yardage.
You know, when you pick up 5 and 6 yards on first down, it really gives you a lot of flexibility, too. And this time, they go back up the middle. Good play this time. As going for the Wildcats was Mercer, and Mercer unable that time to get much running room. He'll get it right close to the 25-yard line, be 3rd down and 5.
Good tackle that time. Jason Dietrich kind of took the tackle on one-on-one and tripped up the running back, so good tackle by him, or he had big yardage up the middle.
So Coach Webb calling the defensive play that he wants in. 6:47 left first quarter, no score.
3rd and 5 for the Wildcats.
Almost have to, well, they go up the middle this time. And the Tiger defense this time really stands tall, but being at the 24-yard line, probably will use their 4th down again, Brad.
Don't really understand that call, running right up the middle on 3rd and 5 when they've been successful so far getting out on the corner with the option. So Wildcats going to take a timeout here to discuss their plans here on 4th and 5 with 6:24 left here in the first quarter.
We'll be right back after this word.
The coronavirus is changing the way we live our lives, but seriously injured people still need our help. At OEB, we're committed to helping you no matter what. So, we've introduced a system where we can take care of your case almost completely electronically. You don't have to leave your home for us to start helping you. All you have to do is call. The future may feel uncertain, but we can get through it together. If you're injured, you still deserve justice. Call 546-1111. Call right now.
Well, a big 4th down and 4 play for the Wildcats, and I'm sure Coach Webb now has had an opportunity to talk to his defensive line about staying onside.
So the Wildcats come up now with twins to the right side, new formation for them. Ferguson rolls out to the right. He's looking for a receiver. And Downs makes an outstanding catch as Brandon Ashley got right in front of him and had a chance to make the interception, but it's going to be important now to see where the spot is for the Wildcats, and looks like it's going to be awfully close to
It's a first down, Brad. It's on the 20-yard line, and they just had to go to about the 19, so it's going to be a first down. And as you mentioned, that really took some concentration. Here it is on the replay as you see Ashley coming in. That had to be a really concentrated effort on Mr. Downs' part to keep focused.
And a well-thrown ball, too, by Ferguson as he threaded the needle there. And like I said, good catch by Downs. And big play for the Wildcats. They keep this drive going. It's been a very good drive here for the Wildcats on their first possession.
So Ferguson under center again for the Cats. And they'll give to the first man, Plemons, and Plemons breaks the initial tackle and gets it down to the 15-yard line. So, again, a gain of about 5 yards on first down, and that's going to be where the Tigers are going to have to tighten up.
And that's right up the gut, too, Ron. That's right up the middle and where the heart of the Tiger defense is. So Coach Webb's kind of got to figure something out here. And, the Wildcats just lining up in a wishbone tight formation saying, here we are. We're going to run it right at you.
And a different-looking offensive team tonight than we saw a couple of weeks ago. And again, they go right to Plemons again, and Plemons gets inside the 10-yard line. It's going to be first and goal for the Wildcats. The ball will be at about the 8-yard line.
And this change in offense could also be, go along with the change in quarterbacks and just people feeling more comfortable at their positions and not feeling out of sync. And Ferguson doing an awfully good job right now moving the Wildcats down as they started this drive on about their own 35-yard line.
Well, and obviously Downs is the go-to man on the passing, and I'm sure at the tailback position we're going to see him running the ball some here in a little bit too. And here he comes. Downs trying to get to the outside, and good play, but Downs cuts it in. Looks like the ball is loose, and the pitch got away, and it's Rockwood football. So the first time that Downs carries the ball from scrimmage turns out to be disastrous.
That football recovered by 59, Wyatt Wilson, so doing a good job getting out on the corner, making something happen, picking up a fumble. So big play there for the Rockwood Tigers. And then also a good play by Kevin Gang here on the defensive end, kind of strings it out and makes Downs cut it up, and he gets help from his buddies. So,
well, and now, Brad, if you're Sweetwater coach, you have to try to get your team back up now, because this is the kind of thing that's been happening to them all year. Now for the Tigers, they've got to get something going offensively because there's only 4:43 left in the first quarter. Sweetwater's dominated the play. Barnes this time off right tackle, and Barnes again doing a great job of getting through, keeping his feet moving, and Barnes gets it out to about the 15-yard line. Be second down and about 4.
Another big key there too for the Tigers. Well, they get the ball back, but for the Wildcats is if they drove all the way down the field there, and they've got to be confident that they were able to drive like that.
Well, Chapman now trying to get outside, and Chapman's going to be thrown for a loss. Chapman's all the way back down to about the 11 or 12-yard line, Brad, and that's going to negate the whole gain on first down. That'll bring back third down and about 8.
And Chapman getting up a little gimpy, too, there after that play, is he's still favoring that ankle that I believe he hurt last week in the Midway game. So injuries right now really hampering the Rockwood Tigers. And
well, they get a break on the spot, too, on this forward motion. They don't take it back. They're going to say he's down at the 12-yard line, so it's going to be third down and about 7.
Down in distance, Coach Webb would like to stay away from in tonight's ball game, 3rd and long.
Ashley this time off to Barnes, and Barnes is going to be hit again. And Sweetwater on the front defensive part of the Wildcats now just really outplaying the Tigers.
They're just kind of pinning their ears back and going after them. They're just, so far, the Tigers not had a chance to get real fancy with their offense, just pretty much running up the middle and off tackle. So the Wildcats just laying back and going after him, and Rockwood's forced to punt again as Wyatt Wilson substituting for the injured Greg Ewing's back to punt, and here's a late addition to the field here, and just special teams again.
Wilson from the goal line gets a kick away to the 42-yard line. Good pursuit by the Tigers. Downs gets away, and now Downs will score. No flags down, and Downs takes it in, so Downs quickly makes up for his mistake. And Brad, we'll get it on a replay, I'm sure, but no less than 2 or 3 people with a good hit on Downs.
Well, they had him wrapped up. It looked like the play was about to be over. there at the 45-yard line. As you can see, Downs catches the punt. There's about 3 or 4 guys that have a chance right here to make the tackle. He runs into his own man, and then he's gone.
So Downs scoring, and now Sweetwater will try for the extra point. Kick is up, and the kick is good. So with 2:29 left, it will be Sweetwater jumping out in front of the Tigers, 7-0. We'll be right back.
Muncie Pharmacy is your locally owned hometown pharmacy. They accept most insurances, so why go to the large chain pharmacies when you get better customer service at Muncie Pharmacy? Have a special prescription that needs compounding? Muncie Pharmacy can handle those needs as well. Muncie Pharmacy has a drive-through for your convenience and offers free delivery in the Oak Ridge area. And don't forget the gifts that we have available for all occasions.
Here at Muncie Pharmacy, we take the time to know you and treat you like family.
Well, special teams, again, playing a big, big part in this football game. We said it at the start of every game. You hate to be redundant, but it's proven to be, again, just as you call it. You got to play the special teams.
It's such an important role in the game. And, you know, one thing I guess you could say is high school teams, they don't have a lot of time to practice special teams, but still you have to focus and just concentrate on every play, and special teams so important. As you see there, a couple missed tackles, and the Rockwood's down 7-0. So big, big play in the game.
Chapman takes it at about the 3-yard line, and Chapman is hit at the 25-yard line. So it'll be 1st and 10 for the Tigers, and the ball will be on the 25-yard line. And the Tigers now, offensively, Brad, are going to really have to come out and not only be mistake-free, they're going to have to get some possession and get back in this football game with a good drive.
You know, there, Chapman had a hole, but I believe that ankle injury is just really hampering him from taking that extra boost and hit that hole, because he's really hurt right now on his ankles. You can tell the way he's limping a little bit, favoring that ankle.
And this time the ball is on the ground, and Sweetwater comes up with it. As that time, I'm not sure that Barnes and Ashley ever got together on the handoff, but Sweetwater comes right back with the ball on the Rockwood 25-yard line.
Well, it looked like right there that the Sweetwater defense got some penetration into the backfield, stood the offensive lineman up, put him right in the backfield, and created a problem, and there never was a clean handoff.
And I tell you what, also we probably have to give Brewster some credit.
He kind of disrupted that play from the beginning.
This time Ferguson cuts it up, and Ferguson gets out to about the 22-yard line. So it'll be a gain of about 4 yards.
I tell you right Ferguson. Now, Sweetwater not doing anything fancy with the football. They're looking like the Sweetwater teams of old. They're lining up. They're saying, here we are. Can you stop us? They're putting out a challenge right there to line of scrimmage. And so far, Sweetwater's dominating the line of scrimmage.
Well, Rockwood's had 7 offensive plays in the first quarter. 2 3 and out, and fumbled on the first one. Not what Coach Webb envisioned for this homecoming game here tonight. Ferguson brings his team to the line. And again, Ferguson pitches the ball. And not very pretty, not very good spacing, but he got the job done.
Well, he went as far as he could without pitching the ball to 16 for the Wildcats. Jonathan Mercer did it the last minute, just a little flick, and Mercer did the rest and picked up 5 or 6 yards on that play, bringing up 3rd and short for the Wildcats.
Down spread out wide to the right. Ferguson this time keeps it, and Ferguson gets inside the 15, and I tell you, almost had a big play there. Someone got to a foot and tripped him, but it's the first down. Ferguson almost, though, had a straight shot to the end zone.
Big play, big series right here for the Wildcats. They really need to keep for the Tigers, they need to keep the Wildcats out of the end zone. And if they can hold them to a field goal, would be great. I'm sure Coach Webb would be excited about that. But a big stand here for the Rockwood Tigers.
Cats again as Ferguson comes across the right side. Pair there for the Tigers. And for the Tigers, Brad, Flask is had a pretty good game thus far.
Well, you know, he's just trying to hold up the front there on the defensive line as they're just Wildcats just running right at him up the middle and off tackle. So big stand here for the defensive front for the Rockwood Tigers.
Last play of the first quarter as Ferguson rolls out to the left, trying to throw. Fired it. It's going to be incomplete, I think. Well, no, they're saying, well, incomplete. I thought they were going to mark the ball. Brad, I believe they're going to call it complete. Yeah, they're putting the ball down, and Ferguson fired that ball into Downs.
And it was a great catch by Downs. He extended fully into the sidelines, must have got a foot in, caught the sidelines over there, because great catch by him and great pass by Ferguson.
Okay, we'll be right back after this commercial break.
At OEB, we're committed to helping people who get injured. With the outbreak of the coronavirus, we understand you might be afraid to leave your home to get legal help. We want you to know that at OEB, we can get you your help by just picking up the phone. We can take care of almost every aspect of your case electronically so you don't have to leave your house. The future may feel uncertain, but we can get through it together. Injured? You still deserve justice. Call 546-1111. Call today.
Well, during the commercial break, the officials got together, and it was not a catch, and so it will be it'll be third down as we'll get a replay of it. Perhaps can see where that catch was. You'll see Ferguson rolling out to his left, and up at the top left-hand corner of your screen as he fires it in, and he got a foot in, Brad. It looked like on the replay.
Looks like he might have drugged his foot along the sideline to get that catch. So big play there for the big break there for the Tigers.
If you can rewind that thing, let's show it again there.
Here's the replay again. Did you see Downs can catch it?
Looked like he got a foot right there.
Like his right foot came down in bounds.
Has a good throw and a good catch. So
good camera action there by our camera crew here tonight.
Great job there. Seen by our senior camera operator, Mr. Joe Hot Fuels Tipton. Way to go, Joe. Third down and about 7 now for the Wildcats.
Big break there for the Tigers as it makes the Wildcats now face 3rd and 7. So if they can get this stand and force a field goal, it'll be a big boost for the Rockwood defense.
So Ferguson will be bringing the Wildcats to the line of scrimmage. Plemons gets it up the middle, and Plemons gets inside the 10, inside the 5-yard line. Will go Steve Plemons. And Brad, again, just really keeping the Rockwood defense off balance right now.
That's just simple option football right there. The quarterback will read the tackle, and if he's not coming up the field, he'll give it off to the fullback, and Plemons just running hard right up the middle. Almost scored on that play.
4th and 1 now for the Wildcats, and Coach John Webb wants a timeout. We'll be back after this commercial word.
Tennessee Barns & Buildings in Jacksboro has all your storage building needs. At Tennessee Barns & Buildings, you can pick out your building, then custom design it how you want it, and then have it delivered. Our friendly staff will help you with all your design needs. Are you worried about financing? Well, at Tennessee Barns & Buildings, there's no credit check, so no one is turned down. Plus, you can rent to own your own building. Tennessee Barns & Buildings in Jacksboro says come on down and see Hannah or Mary Beth for your next building. Or call 423-449-8139.
Well, another big 4th down play for both teams as the Wildcats trying to get back into the end zone. The Tigers trying to get this thing turned around and get a little momentum going on the offensive side. So another big 4th down play. They have to get the ball to about the 3-yard line. So a little over a yard perhaps on this big 4th down play.
look for them again to probably run the option here on 4th and 1, get something on the corner and try to get the numbers and use Big Clemens and Ferguson and Downs and in the option.
Well, and again, movement on the line. Now let's see if they were drawn off or if the Tigers jump.
And why not? Use the freeze play. It's worked for everybody else, and now it's working against the Tigers.
Tigers again saying it's against Sweetwater, and this time they're exactly right. So
big break.
Evened up.
Big break there for the Tigers, as they did jump, but the Wildcats probably pulled them off. So now looks like the Wildcats bring in the field goal unit. Would be a 27-yard field goal.
Well, they're going to go for it as they put it down at the, 16? So 26-yard effort by Andy Chester. Downs on the hole. The kick, long enough, it's good. So the Wildcats come away with 3, but again, Coach John Webb has to be pleased with the turnover there. They took it over to 25.
You have to be happy about the way your defense bowed their neck there on that defensive stand, and you got a field goal, and you made them do something that not a lot of high schools can do, and it's kick a field goal from 27, 30 yards out. Sweetwater did it. They take the lead 10-0, but a confidence boost there for the Tigers.
And once again, when you're 1 and 4, it's the little things that cause you those headaches. The offsides play from 4th and 1, 4th and 6, the difference in being able to go and have to settle for the field goal.
Those things they creep up on you all year long, and you seem like you just can't ever get rid of them. It's just the way the year's gone for the Sweetwater Wildcats, and it can go that way for anybody.
Well, now we'll get ready for another Edwards kickoff. Edwards Shoe Store on Roan Street in Harriman, and they can fit you up with all your athletic shoe needs, your dress shoes, casuals. They've got it all. Go by and see Orvis and all the fine staff at Edwards, a home to a lot of Roan County shoppers for many, many years. Chester got the foot in that ball. That would have been good for about another 20 yards. Not much height, but a lot of distance. And this is a kickoff that will be taken at the 5-yard line, fumbled by Chapman. He'll pick it back up and looking for a seam, unable to find one, and he'll get it to about the 18-yard line before making the stop for Wildcats, Jared Norfolk. And so it'll be 1st and 10 for the Tigers, and this is about where they've taken over all 3 times now, Brad, trying to get field position. Look for Brandon Ashley to try to make something happen here on the option here at some point. 11:21 left first half, Tigers down 10-0. Quick pitch to Chapman, and Chapman finds some running room around the corner and will be knocked out of bounds by Daniel Kyle. But he makes the corner, and he'll get it out to about the 23-yard line.
Good piece of running there by Reggie Chapman. There really wasn't a lot there to begin with. The Sweetwater defense came up well and forced him outside, but a good job of running and getting what he could on that play, leaving about 2nd and 6. So good gain there for the Tigers, leaving them in a position now where they can do something a little different.
Ashley on the option. Has running room. Ashley with 1 man to beat. And Ashley run out of bounds at the Sweetwater 44-yard line. So Brandon Ashley.
And that's an example of why you need to get the ball in his hands on the corner. All it was a simple counter option. He faked to the right and froze the Sweetwater defense and went back to the weak side. And then he makes the defender make a choice. He chose to take the running back, and Brandon turned it up and did a great job and did a good job protecting the ball there on the sidelines as the defender tried to strip it.
So the Tigers now with a little momentum going on the offensive side of the football. Ashley this time gives it to Barnes. Barnes has the ball come loose. I believe the Tigers have jumped back on it, though. And the Tigers do maintain possession, but the ball loose again. And it'll be 2nd down and about 4. Ball at about the 39-yard line. So again, the ball loose.
The Sweetwater defenders, they're just stripping the ball. One guy will make the tackle, the other guy will strip it out. And a good job there by Isham for the Tigers getting on the loose football.
Daniel Kyle that time for Sweetwater looked like he got the hand in. So the Tigers now at work offensively. Ashley on the little delay this time, and Ashley will be about a yard shy of the first down, have it out to about the 34-yard line. So it'll be 3rd down and about 1.
And that's the same play they ran to the other side for the big game there on the previous play. And that time, good defense by the Sweetwater Wildcats as they strung it out and got some help from the inside pursuers.
So 3rd down now for the Tigers, and really probably here, unless you get thrown for a big loss, probably 4-down territory for the Tigers.
New formation for the Tigers. They go 4 wides.
And they pay back on the freeze play this time. Sweetwater jumps off sides, it looks like, and it'll be 1st and 10 for the Tigers via the offsides penalty by the Wildcats. So both teams playing a little cat and mouse now on this short yardage. As you see, Kingston leading Loudon 7-6. Harriman leading Jellicoe 7-0. 9:34 left, first half of play. Sweetwater 10, Rockwood nothing. Ashley coming back on the other side to Chapman. Chapman making a good move, and Chapman will get it down to about the 16-yard line. Good move that time by Eddie Chapman. Good pitch by Ashley.
Good play by Reggie Chapman, probably shades of his daddy Eddie Chapman, but what set that up was a good pitch by Brandon Ashley running the option. Good key block on the corner by Clay Barnes, and that sprung Reggie up and got the first down. And option really helping the Tigers out on this drive, something that's been a major play in the Rockwood offense for many years.
Tigers lining up now in the I. Ashley to Barnes again right up the middle, and Barnes fighting his way to about the 12-yard line.
You got to look for the Tigers to stay on the corner and stand on the outside, because up the middle, Sweetwater is really stuffing everything that the Tigers bring at them. And so far, the option, as we said, really doing well and really attacking a whole lot better on the corner than up the middle.
But on this drive, Brad, the Tigers picking up at least 4 and 5 yards on first down, a big difference. And again, Ashley this time on the pitch. Comes to Chapman, makes a good move, and Chapman will be knocked out of bounds. But I tell you, Chapman could have been thrown for a loss except for the good juke move that he gave and got around the corner.
Well, he made a good stutter step there, and he made a good job catching the football. It was a high pitch from Ashley. He made a good job, did a good job catching the football, made a great cut there, and picked up good yardage, leaving about 3rd and 5. Just a little stutter step, something you saw from Peerless Price the other night against Houston. Using a little basketball move there. Coach K probably proud of that, the jab step.
Going to be 3rd down and about 4 for the Tigers.
Big play for the Rockwood Tigers.
This time Chapman with another good move, and Chapman will be down to about the 5-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Tigers.
Another big block by Clay Barnes there. He's the lead blocker tonight, playing fullback, and he just took the linebacker on and allowed Chapman to get up to good running yardage and picking up the first down.
So it'll be 1st and goal for the Tigers. Ball resting at the 5-yard line. So the Tigers on this series really picking it up offensively. And will now have it 1st and goal at the 5. Barnes, and looked like Barnes had some running room. Wildcats closed down quickly, and maybe a gain of a yard.
Like there was a small gap there starting out, but closed quickly by the middle of the Wildcat defense, and good job by Barnes just holding on to the footballs. He was hit pretty hard there up the middle. Definitely want to get some points here out of this possession for the Rockwood Tigers.
Brian Boston bringing the play in for Coach John Webb as the Tigers get aligned.
So Barnes and Chapman will line up behind Ashley. 2nd and goal here, and fumble.
Ball's on the ground.
Sweetwater Wildcats will recover. Not sure what happened there, if it was a fumbled snap or...
Well, the Wildcats, Brad, were getting ready to get into a blitzing formation, and I don't know if the snap occurred early, if someone saw that coming, tried to get it.
We'll see a replay here.
But watch right here at the top of the screen right here. Now you see the man coming in, and that's when all the chaos started, and the ball just came loose, and the Tigers lay it on the ground.
Looks like it was just a simple center quarterback exchange, which is another little thing that happens in a game that can mean a whole lot. And now the Wildcats start out deep in their territory as they'll give it up the middle to Spencer, and he'll find running room tough up the middle, but gain a couple yards.
And of course here, if you're Coach John Webb, you know, you're asking your defense here to at least keep them pinned back so we can get good field position. We're coming down on the 6-minute mark here in the first half. So you need to keep them 3 and out here, get the ball back on your side of the field, on their side of the field, and try to get something in before halftime.
But you still, if you're Coach Webb, you really needed some points out of that possession, and you kind of got to be deflated a little bit, but need a big stand here by your defense.
Ferguson back to throw, rolling around, throwing it down to Downs, and it's, well, Downs really needs, it looked like there needed to be a flag on that. It looked like Downs became the defense on that play because Chapman had a good shot at intercepting that.
Well, he did, and, you know, if the quarterback Ferguson for the Wildcats puts any air under that at all, it's probably 6 points going the other way. He threw it a little flat, allowed Ashley to get underneath it. As you can see, Ashley just gets back and sits underneath it, and not a lot of air. He throws it kind of flat. Good play by Downs, just coming back and being a defender. So that'll leave 3rd and long now for the Wildcats. Not in a situation they're probably not want to be in. Like there was a fumble on the keep.
And the Tigers come back with it.
So big defensive play there for the Rockwood Tigers.
Looks like Charles Flask on the recovery again, and we've called his name a lot defensively tonight,
It's
Brad.
a big play, making a lot of things happen for the transfer from West Virginia.
So again, this time, Clemens comes through with it, has it stripped, and the Tigers come away with it.
Could be a case of Ferguson not really deciding what he wants to do, if he wants to keep it or give it off to Clemens, and tried to pull it at the last minute, and then that's where the fumbles occur.
1st and goal from the 8 for the Tigers, as Chapman this time gets it down to the 5-yard line, a flag on the play. So let's see what the flag is about.
Well, it came from the line, Judge.
Generally holding.
Face mask.
Face mask, Sweetwater. Okay, so the Tigers.
Be a 5-yard penalty, so.
Well, it'll be half the goal because it's a 15-yard penalty in high school. They don't have any incidental. And there it is. Looks like they've got a hold of the face mask, so it'll be about a.
So 1st and goal for the Rockwood Tigers.
At about the 2-yard line.
Need to get this one in the end zone going into halftime.
Barnes is in. So Clay Barnes scores for the Tigers with 6:07 left in the first quarter of play. So the Tigers turn a turnover into 6 points.
Big extra point here for the Tigers as Wyatt Wilson's on the kick with Chapman holding.
Kick is up and no good.
So there again, special teams coming back to play a key role in this game as Ewing, the kicker all season, is out with an injury, and Wyatt Wilson has to step in and kick. And just another thing that is a reason special teams are so important in high school football.
10-6 our score. We'll be right back.
Hey, it's Jack Ryan. You've heard this. I wish there was a morning radio show playing country songs that we could really love. Well, now there is. Will Hine Wall in the morning with your forgotten favorites and only the new country you love. On 96.7 Merle.
At OEB, we're committed to keeping you and your family safe. With the outbreak of the coronavirus, we understand you might be afraid to leave your house to get legal help. Now you don't have to. We can handle almost every aspect of your case electronically. Call 546-1111.
6:07 left in the first half of play, 10-6. Sweetwater with the lead. The Edwards kickoff for you. Coming up as Wilson hits the Edwards kickoff, and it'll bounce and be taken at the 11-yard line. And Sweetwater bringing it out to about the 28-yard line. So Upton will bring it out, and it'll be 1st and 10 for the Tigers. So Sweetwater will have it 1st and 10 at their own 29-yard line.
Upton, a familiar name of years past for the Sweetwater Wildcats.
Kingston leading Loudon 7-6, and Harriman still leading Jellicoe 7-0. Wildcats to the line of scrimmage, leading 10-6, and trying to get outside. The Wildcats make it to the outside. Mercer, and Mercer will pick up about 5 yards.
For Coach Webb, you want to try to get the ball back here and have a chance to score right before halftime, and need a big stand out of your defensive unit to get the football back.
Michael Lawson going into the ball game for the Rockwood Tigers. Places Charles Massingale. Ferguson this time on the keep, and big play by Holloway as he keeps Ferguson to a gain of about 2, so a big 3rd down and 3 coming up for the Cats.
Good play by Nick Holloway. He stayed at home and he waited and did his job, his responsibility, and that's what you have to do against the option. Each man has a responsibility, and it's up to that man to make the play, and he did that on the quarterback, Ferguson.
So on the big 3rd down play, let's see if Ferguson tries to draw them off or if they get the play in motion, and they do. Ferguson on the pitch, and big play as Chapman really almost with a super play. Looks like the Cats are going to get the 1st down, but Chapman, if Chapman doesn't hit him, he's still running.
Good run by Mercer. He saw Chapman coming up, and he just darted inside a little bit. Chapman was able to get him on the ground, but like you said, if Chapman's not there, he's running for a touchdown.
And that was a case of knowing where the 1st down marker was, too.
Ferguson looking like he really feels comfortable now running the option for the Sweetwater Wildcats.
Mercer this time is going to pick up about 3 yards, Brad, but it looked like he was going to be lucky to gain a yard, but he got the inside that time, cut up the field, and was able to pick up 2 or 3.
Looked like Rockwood had it defended well, just not attacking up the field, kind of waiting and letting the offensive player get to them.
2nd down and about 6, but the clock winding. 3:53 now left here in the first half of play.
I'm not sure how many games Ferguson's played at quarterback, but the coaching staff for Sweetwater really just being basic and simple with him and having a game plan that he's able to run.
Ferguson this time pitches back to Downs, and Downs will have it out across the 45, down to about the 47-yard line, so it's going to be another big 3rd down and about 3 for the Cats. And Chapman limping out of the ball game again, Brad, and that's a big play, a big blow for the Tigers as you're already playing without Ewing.
And Chapman's replaced by Kerry Brazel, a sophomore, so, you know, not a lot of experience there in the Tigers secondary.
And this time Ferguson cuts up and leaps for the 1st down. And tell you saw the athleticism then of young Ferguson.
And there you saw Ferguson doing it all on his own, too. Not a lot of running room outside as he kept the ball on the option. Did a little fake there on the end, and the linebackers over-pursued there for the Tigers. They got a little out in front of Ferguson, and he cut it up behind them for the 1st down. So good run there for Ferguson.
In fact, looked like there could have even been somewhat of a busted play that time because Ferguson really didn't have a lead man that time. Again, this time follows Plemons into the hole, and Plemons is going to be held to about a yard gain. Tigers doing a good job that time, and Ferguson riding with him into the hole to make sure that he got the ball.
I believe Ferguson stuck it in the pocket there, and Plymouth just held on and ripped it up through the middle for a gain of about 2 yards. But that's what the fullback's supposed to do. If that ball is in your stomach, you hold on to it and you wrap up and don't let the quarterback take it away.
Interesting to see if the Sweetwater coaches notice that Chapman is out and try to pick on Brazel a little bit. Ferguson is going to be hit from behind. Good play by the Tigers.
Three or four Tiger defenders in on that play as they chase Ferguson down in the backfield for a loss. So it'll be about 3rd and 9 now for the Wildcats.
Riggs this time as they rolled out.
Good play by Wyatt Wilson. He came on a blitz from the backside and chased Ferguson down.
3rd down at about 9. And Chapman back into the ball game now, be over on downs. Ferguson looking out into the flat. It's incomplete as Mercer that time took his eyes off the ball and had a little running room in front of him, Brad.
Well, good play call by the Sweetwater coaching staff. Set up a little screen to the right side, and Mercer had plenty of running room, just took his eye off of it, so it'll bring up 4th down, punting situation for the Sweetwater Wildcats.
And the Tigers will get it back with something around a minute and 10 or so left here in the first half of play as we're on 126 now. And Moore will be in punt formation for Sweetwater. It's a bad snap. Tigers don't have the rush on. And the kick is going to be getting a Sweetwater bounce. And on the bad snap, that negates any roughing the kicker or anything. So the Tigers, had they had to rush, would have gotten the block kick for sure, but with trying to get a return on.
And Wyatt Wilson in there almost came up with a block. Looked like it might have went right through his hands.
So you see the bad snap, so you can't have roughing the kicker there. So the kicker really free game. And
Good heads-up play by Wyatt Wilson, too, knowing that and attacking him.
So 1st and 10 for the Tigers with 1:15 left, first half of play. They trail 10-6. Ashley round the right side looking, and Ashley being stopped at the 25-yard line, so a gain of about 3.
I'm not sure if Coach Webb will try to do anything now, just try to get into at halftime with the trailing 10-6 and not trying to force anything where you could end up going in worse off than you started out. So look for the Tigers just try to run the clock down and get in at halftime.
Chapman, still limping, is in the slot to the left. Ashley back to throw, looking for the screen. They've got it. Barnes got running room. Cutting back up the field, one man to beat. And Downs will pull him out of bounds at the Sweetwater 44-yard line. So Sweetwater lured into the same thinking that we were and come back with a screen pass. Good safe play.
And a good job blocking the screen pass, too, for the Tigers as Wyatt Wilson and Derek Perry out here almost set up a wall for Barnes as he just used the sideline and got good yardage for the Tigers.
And got out of bounds. So it's going to be 32 seconds left, so plenty of time for the Tigers to even at least get into field goal range. Ashley back to throw again, and Holloway will have it, and the clock will continue to run as it's at the 40-yard line. And Rockwood will call timeout. As you see the replay. Barnes with good running room on the replay and goes out of bounds. Rockwood wants timeout. We'll be right back.
Earl Duff Subaru in Harriman knows safe and reliable transportation is essential right now. Whether you need service or to replace your current vehicle, we're ready to help. Our building is sanitized to keep our customers as safe as possible. Plus, we're offering pickup and delivery service during the crisis. Earl Duff Subaru in Harriman, Tennessee's only 9-time winner of the Love Promise Award for customer satisfaction. This month, all Outback, Forester, Ascent, Legacy, and Impreza models have available 0% financing with no payments for 90 days.
22.8 seconds left in the first half of play here at Civitan Field, where the Sweetwater Wildcats are leading the Rockwood Tigers 10-6. As the Tigers line up, Ewing under center, back to pass. Ashley looking down the field, throwing to a man wide open, incomplete. Holloway wide open at the 17-yard line, unable to come down with it. That'll stop the clock with 17 ticks left.
Good route there by the Rockwood Tigers. They ran a kind of a post route and a down, out, and down route with Chapman and Holloway going downfield. And a good job by Brandon, not trying to force anything. He was looking deep to Reggie at first. Came back off as probably a secondary receiver, Holloway, in the middle of the field, and just unable to catch it. So Twins to the left side of the formation for Rockwood.
Ewing back to throw, plenty of time, throwing the ball man wide open, intercepted. As Sweetwater running the ball back, Barnes waiting for him on the left side, and with 3.6 ticks on the clock, Sweetwater will have the football at the Rockwood 48-yard line. So maybe time for one play.
Not sure if Brandon got hit on that play or just probably didn't get enough on it or what, but this is the play before when the ball was a little behind Holloway, but
here's the interception coming up. So Ashley coming and just, man, cutting in front of the receiver.
And a good job by the Tigers just getting him down and not letting them turn it into a big play.
Sweetwater will take timeout so that they can get in one more play. That will end the first half. They're leading 10-6. So Coach Webb will just place several players back to where they can protect the end zone.
Big event Sunday, October the 4th at the Presbyterian Church from 2 to 4 p.m. Everyone's invited to honor Jerry Wallach, who's done a lot for the Rockwood community and the Rockwood High School. Many, many years of hard work in that high school office.
Exactly right. Ferguson back to throw. Looking, being pursued, and Holloway will come in to make the stop for the Rockwood Tigers. That will end the first half of play. Sweetwater 10, Rockwood 6. Stay tuned. We're going to come back, and we'll have Homecoming Festivities live from Civitan Field.
Hey, it's Jack Ryan. Listeners are always wanting more music. So guess who it is that's giving it to you? We now have an hour-long commercial-free playlist all day long. Over an hour of back-to-back songs and zero commercials on 96.7 Merle.
At OEB, we're committed to keeping you and your family safe. With the outbreak of the coronavirus, we understand you might be afraid to leave your house to get legal help. Now you don't have to. We can handle almost every aspect of your case electronically. Call 546-1111.
Muncie Pharmacy is your locally owned hometown pharmacy. They accept most insurances, so why go to the large chain pharmacies when you get better customer service at Muncie Pharmacy? Have a special prescription that needs compounding? Muncie Pharmacy can handle those needs as well. Muncie Pharmacy has a drive-through for your convenience and offers free delivery in the Oak Ridge area. And don't forget the gifts that we have available for all occasions.
Here at Muncie Pharmacy, we take the time to know you and treat you like family.
Tennessee Barns and Buildings in Jacksboro has all your storage building needs. At Tennessee Barns and Buildings, you can pick out your building, then custom design it how you want it, and then have it delivered. Our friendly staff will help you with all your design needs. Are you worried about financing? Well, at Tennessee Barns and Buildings, there's no credit check, so no one is turned down. Plus, you can rent to own your own building. Tennessee Barns and Buildings in Jacksboro says come on down and see Hannah or Mary Beth for your next building. Or call 423-449-8139.
Earl Duff Subaru in Harriman knows safe and reliable transportation is essential right now. Whether you need service or to replace your current vehicle, we're ready to help. Our building is sanitized to keep our customers as safe as possible. Plus, we're offering pickup and delivery service during the crisis. Earl Duff Subaru in Harriman, Tennessee's only 9-time winner of the Love Promise Award for customer satisfaction. This month, all Outback, Forester, Ascent, Legacy, and Impreza models have available 0% 0% financing with no payments for 90 days.
Welcome back to halftime festivities here as the Rockwood Marching Band, under the direction of Mr. Farmer, will be performing the music for the halftime festivities. And our homecoming queen candidates for tonight will be Jessica Bond, daughter of Susan Bond of Rockwood and John Bond of Jackson, Tennessee. She's escorted by Richie Brandt, son of Carl and Celesta Brandt of Rockwood. Sarah Buck, daughter of Ron and Kathy Buck of Rockwood, escorted by Chadley Bowman, son of Norman and Peggy Bowman. And Julie Hines, daughter of Jim and Ann Hines of Rockwood, escorted by Michael Like, son of Mike and Gail Like of Rockwood. And you'll be seeing all of those guys and gals heading out of here in just a few moments as the queen candidates get to ride. The others have to walk. Price you pay for being an underclassman, I guess. And we'll be turning things over to Mr. Maurice Grief here in just a moment to bring you these halftime festivities so that you know what's going on.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and this is the 1998 Rockwood Homecoming Activities. The first couple, Miranda Couch, daughter of Robert and Crystal Couch of Rockwood, escorted by Corey Buck, son of Ples and Teresa Buck of Rockwood. These are freshman candidates, freshman attendants. The second is Samantha Lawson, daughter of Ricky and Ruby Lawson of Rockwood, escorted by Ryan Selvage, son of Greg and Kathy Selvage of Rockwood. The third attendant, Brittany Allen, daughter of Jeff and Kim Allen of Rockwood, escorted by Justin Ledford, son of Johnny and Jennifer Ledford of Rockwood. The sophomore attendants are Tiffany Hedrick, daughter of Joe and Sonia Hedrick of Rockwood, escorted by Josh Hedrick, son of Ralph and Sue Hedrick of Rockwood. The next attendant, Sheena Selvage, daughter of Greg and Kathy Selvage of Rockwood, escorted by Daniel Kleiss, son of Robert and Jan Kleiss of Rockwood. The third attendant, Jessica Vance, daughter of Carl and Teresa Vance of Rockwood, escorted by Chris Mitchell, son of Charles and Pat Mitchell of Rockwood. The junior attendants are Stephanie Thomas, daughter of Angela Russell of Rockwood and Gary Thomas of Harriman, escorted by Trevor Lemons, son of Debbie Lemons of Rockwood and Chuck Lemons of Harriman. The second attendant, Summer Shea Shadden, daughter of Charles and Patricia Shadden of Rockwood, escorted by Chandler Lemons, son of Debbie Lemons of Rockwood and Chuck Lemons of Harriman. The third attendant, Tasha Woodall, daughter of Greg and Mary Woodall of Rockwood, escorted by Josh Hicks, son of Gary and Rhonda Hicks of Rockwood. The senior attendants are Stephanie Hickey, daughter of Ronald Hickey of Rockwood, Winona and Winona Kinney of Rockwood, escorted by James Perkins, son of David and Dina Perkins of Rockwood. The second attendant, Amber Nielsen, daughter of Kathy Nielsen of Rockwood, escorted by Chad Payne, son of Darrell and Missy Payne of Rockwood. The third attendant, Christy Parsons, daughter of Charles and Mary Parsons of Rockwood, escorted by Travis Tweed, son of Bobby and Alana Tweed of Rockwood. Those are your freshman, sophomore, senior attendants. Coming on the field at the right end of the field, in the first car, we'll give you their names as they come to their stopping points.
Maurice, I think they're going to go all the way around and let them out and then walk across the field. So they've changed plans on you.
Okay. First car, Jessica Bond, daughter of Susan Bond of Rockwood and John Bond of Jackson, Tennessee, escorted by Richie Brandt, son of Carl and Celeste Brandt of Rockwood. And that car is furnished by Preble Jeep from Dayton, Tennessee, Tally Walker. The second car, Sarah Buck, daughter of Ron and Kathy Buck of Rockwood, escorted by Chadley Bowman, son of Norman and Peggy Bowman of Spring City. That car donated by Jerry Duncan. They're going to ride around and the attendants will come across at the 50-yard line. A change in plans. The third car, Julie Hines, daughter of Jim and Ann Hines of Rockwood. Her escort, Michael Like, son of Mike and Gail Like of Rockwood. And that car by Jerry Duncan.
Homecoming festivities here at Rockwood High School tonight, and Maurice Grief holds that secretive ballot in his hands. That's what you get when you've done this for about 35 years. You get to hold the envelope, right, Maurice?
45 years.
45 years. Excuse me.
Right.
Excuse me.
This is my 45th year.
Drawing a Social Security check here from the Rockwood High School press box up here.
Get my retirement pay from Rockwood High School.
So Maurice, the Queen candidates now coming out of their really pretty cars, and certainly like to thank the sponsors of these vehicles, because without the pretty cars, this festivity wouldn't be near as impressive.
Well, it takes pretty cars to escort pretty girls and handsome young men. Now that is Jessica Bond, daughter of Susan Bond of Rockwood and John Bond of Jackson, Tennessee, escorted by Richie Brandt, son of Carl and Celeste Brandt of Rockwood. The second Queen candidate is Sarah Buck, daughter of Ron and Kathy Buck of Rockwood, escorted by Chadley Bowman, son of Norman and Peggy Bowman of Spring City. And our third Queen candidate is Julie Hines, daughter of Jim and Ann Hines of Rockwood, escorted by Michael Like, son of Mike and Gail Like of Rockwood.
Derek Pear and Dwight Wilson, captains for the Tigers, standing by to do their official duties.
The football captains on the field, number 58 and number 59. Wyatt Wilson, son of Leroy and Jan Wilson of Rockwood, and Derek Pear, son of Danny and Janet Pear of Rockwood. The flower girl is Courtney Wilkerson, daughter of Lee and April Wilkerson of Rockwood. The crown bearer is Andrew Sullivan, son of Heather Burnett, a teacher at Rockwood High School. And now, ladies and gentlemen, that all-important time. This envelope is hard to open. The queen for the 1998 Rockwood High School homecoming is Sarah Buck.
So Sarah Buck, crowned homecoming queen, 1998.
Wyatt Wilson and Derek Pear. Boys, and the young lady, Miss Wilkerson and Mr. Sullivan. And that is your homecoming queen.
Homecoming queen, 1998, Miss Sarah Buck. And a proud mom and dad down here as Ron Buck, minister, First Christian Church here in Rockwood. And certainly proud parents as they try to get the film. And obviously you run out of film every time. You need to get you a couple more pictures. But there goes the homecoming queen, 1998. Sarah Buck, escorted by Chadley Bowman. And looks like that vehicle driven by Mr. Lehman from Jerry Duncan Ford, a smiling Mr. Lehman as he gets the privilege of driving the queen as she loses her crown. So we're going to have to do some work over there on that crown as a thrilling moment for these young folks who make up homecoming court. And the vehicles have left. The queen's the only one with a vehicle to ride in, so her chariot awaits her. Homecoming queen, Miss Sarah Buck, 1998. And if Mr. Lehman's doing his job, she should get another tour around the field here to show off the queen. Let's see if they're going to get to do that. But certainly happy to have brought you homecoming activities here from Rockwood High School field. The band certainly doing a great job providing the music, and also Mr. Farmer making sure that the band does their part here in this homecoming festivity. So just a great night for homecoming. Now the football team needs to get back, get some points on the board as they trail Sweetwater here at halftime, 10-6 in this football game. And we'll be with you. We've got some stats. First downs, Rockwood had 6, Sweetwater 7.
Don't forget now, on Tuesday night at 7 o'clock.
Rushes, Rockwood had 20 and Sweetwater 25. Yards rushing, 93 for Rockwood. Sweetwater had 72. Passing, Rockwood was 2 for 4 with 1 interception for 35 yards. Sweetwater 2 of 6, no interceptions and 13 yards. Total yards, Rockwood had 128, Sweetwater 85. Fumbles, Rockwood had 3, they lost 2, and Sweetwater had 2, they lost 2. Punting, Rockwood had 2 punts for 29.5 yards, Sweetwater 1 for 24. Penalties, Rockwood 1 for 5, Sweetwater 2 for 7. Now we'll go back to the field for the Rockwood alma mater.
Halftime.
to Sarah Buck, Homecoming Queen 1998, getting her cherished ride here in front of the Rockwood faithful tonight here at Homecoming 1998. Again, congratulations to Sarah, her family here.
And let's give Miss Sarah Buck a big hand as she goes by.
They're all delighted in tonight's festivities, and Sarah getting out of her normal halftime duties of being the drum major for the Rockwood band. So she gets a reprieve from that tonight and gets to ride in her chariot as queen of Rockwood High School 1998. We'll take a commercial break and we'll be ready for the Edwards kickoff. Telling you first that our halftime festivities brought to you by Roan Realty here in Rockwood. All of your real estate needs. Jane Long, owner of Roan County's newest real estate firm, located just behind the Rockwood Methodist Church at the intersection of Highway 70 and 27. Call Jane at 354-1302 or 354-0085. We'll be back after these words.
The coronavirus is changing the way we live our lives, but seriously injured people still need our help. At OEB, we're committed to helping you no matter what. So, we've introduced a system where we can take care of your case almost completely electronically. You don't have to leave your home for us to start helping you. All you have to do is call. The future may feel uncertain, but we can get through it together. If you're injured, you still deserve justice. Call 546-1111. Call right now.
To Civitan Field here after halftime, getting ready to start the third quarter. Very exciting halftime show with Homecoming 98 here at Civitan Field, as Sarah Buck was crowned Homecoming Queen. Congratulations to her and Reverend Buck and from First Christian Church in Rockwood. Been a good first half here at Civitan Field, as you see some scores going across the bottom of the screen. Look for both teams to come out now, starting the third quarter, being very physical and getting something going offensively. Both teams, the Tigers had chances there late in the second quarter as they had the ball down in Sweetwater territory, unable to get the ball in the end zone, had some key turnovers, and still on the board though with 6 points as they were able to get the touchdown in with a run by Clay Barnes. Sweetwater looking very good tonight under the new direction of quarterback Graylin Ferguson, so he's doing a good job tonight for the Sweetwater Wildcats as they're on the board with 10 points. So look for this second half that both teams kind of be getting under control a little bit and establishing some kind of game plan here in the second half, as the Tigers will kick off here to begin the third quarter with the Wildcats receiving. Downs and Robert Upton back for the Wildcats. So this will be an Edwards kickoff starting the third quarter. Go to Edwards and Harriman for all your shoes and clothing needs. Shop Edwards, downtown Harriman. Wilson to kick off here to begin the third quarter. Deep, squabbly kick back to Upton. He'll take it about the 10-yard line. He's got an opening up the middle, and he's dragged down about the 36-yard line. So good opening field position for the third quarter for the Sweetwater Wildcats. They'll start about their own 36-yard line. So important third quarter here for the Rockwood Tigers to force the Sweetwater Wildcats third or go 3 downs and out and force them to punt and get the ball back in good field position. So we'll see what happens here offensively for the Sweetwater Wildcats. They line up in the wishbone with a flanker to the left. Ferguson fumbles, puts the ball on the ground, and Rockwood recovers the fumble. So big play there for the Rockwood Tigers as they come up with a key turnover. As we said earlier, turnover is always a big part of Rockwood football or any football game, as Rockwood comes up with a big turnover there, and they'll take over at Sweetwater's 36-yard line. Looked like Ferguson just lost it as he was running, couldn't get a good handle on it, and he just lost it, not hit or anything. So he'll turn it over to the Rockwood Tigers.
Tigers really need to make something happen right here in the start of the third quarter.
They'll open up with a little counter option as Ashley comes over to the right side. Good running room as he gets it down to the Sweetwater 23-yard line, and that little option play that worked so well for him in the first half They start out with it on the first play here in the third quarter.
Well, and Brett, it's really causing Sweetwater a lot of problems as they just don't have enough men on that side of the field to cover all of the option people.
And the option really starts out slow as he kind of pauses, lets everybody, I think there's a guard that's pulling, he lets him clear, and then he runs it and just makes his decision on the run. Good play by Brandon Ashley.
Look for Coach Webb to use that several times here in this series. Ashley that time just on his own running the quarterback sneak, thought he saw something there, and he's going to pick up about 4 yards.
And that's a play right there designed in practice throughout the week, a scouting report there, and Ashley will just kind of tap the center on the backside, and if he sees something he thinks he can get a couple yards, he's going to do it. And that might not be real productive, but here in a few more chances, he could break for a little big gain. So, that's something that they scout there during the week in practice and preparations.
This time Ashley gives to Chapman, and Sweetwater trying to go for the ball. Chapman breaks loose. Chapman scores. So that time Sweetwater had a couple of players with good angles trying to strip the ball. Chapman hangs on and goes in for the score.
And what a great burst of explosion there Chapman showed. It looked like the guys had the angle on him. As you can see here, he gets tackled a little bit, breaks away from it, and then he just explodes through about 2 defenders there. And he's able to get in the end zone. So
Chapman's still favoring that ankle too, Brad.
You can tell he's still favoring. We've got the Chapman will be in now to hold for the extra point with White Wilson kicking. He's getting the strap adjusted down his kicking shoe. Looks like it's come undone, so he's just going to get rid of it.
Wilson now turning into a running back and goes down. So on the bad exchange, it will be Rockwood 12, Sweetwater 10, with 10:40 left here in the third quarter of play. Again, we'll tell you our halftime festivities brought to you by Roan Realty. You can call Jane Long at 354-1302 for all of your real estate needs, or 354-0085 in her new headquarters just off Highway 70, 27, behind the Rockwood United Methodist Church.
That extra point attempt there, example of what injuries can do to a football team, is Ewing's your normal kicker, Wilson's your normal snapper, and now the roles are reversed and you've got somebody else snapping and it's just a bad snap, and costly extra points can come back in the end and haunt you. And Rockwood's up 12-10 now, but extra points and all the little things in special teams is so very important in high school football.
Of course, if you're coach at Sweetwater now, after the Edwards kickoff here comes down to Sweetwater, it'll go out of bounds at about the 12-yard line. So let's see if they want it at the 35 or if they want them to re-kick on the Edwards kickoff. But now, Brad, 1-4 team, you're always waiting for that bad thing to happen to you. It happened right off the bat here in the third quarter. Now you got to see if they can rebound and come back offensively and get in the sync that they were in the first quarter. They elect to take it at the 35, so it'll be Sweetwater's ball, 1st and 10 at their own 35-yard line.
And the last play with Ferguson, nobody really made him fumble the football. He just lost control of it. So just mental breakdowns there for the Sweetwater Wildcats starting this third quarter.
Ferguson pitches to Downs, and Downs barrels his way over the right side of the line. Good play by the Tigers that time, as they had it played well, as Pear comes up to help with the tackle, but he'll gain 4 yards.
Try to leave 2nd and 6. A opportunity now for the Wildcats to get something going offensively now with 2nd and 6, and they allowed to kind of have a little more freedom now in their playbook and open it up a little bit as they split 2 receivers to the far side.
Ferguson this time gives to Mercer, and Mercer cuts over and gets tripped up. Had a lot of running room that time, but someone was able to get him by the shoestrings and make the stop. They'll move it back to about the 43-yard line. Big third down play now, as it'll be third down and about 3 for the Wildcats. 9:44 here left in the third quarter of play.
Mercer had a lot of running room up the middle, and looks like he might have either got tripped up by Pear or his own man that was on the ground. He just kind of stumbled over him. So a lot of running room there for Plymouth.
Downs trying to get around the right side, gets through, picks up the first down, and crosses midfield in the process, gets it all the way down to the Tiger 48-yard line. And I think that time Brad just caught Rockwood maybe in a blitz and got outside.
Well, right now the running backs for Sweetwater are really exploding through the right side of the Tiger defense, so maybe the coaches for Sweetwater have found somewhere they can attack on that side of the defense. Now the Wildcats will bring 2 receivers to the near side of the field in the I formation.
And somebody's open. Now they make the adjustment, but had a man open here as Mercer running into his own players. He'll get about 2 yards, but that time really Rockwood not in the right formation that they needed to be. Luckily Sweetwater didn't have the play called to the left.
And that's somewhere, you know, where if you see something like that, if you want to make a quick little audible, if you have a little check off where bam, you stand up and just hit that little receiver on a quick pass, he was wide open.
So the Cats pick up 2. It'll be 2nd down and 8. As again, they send 2 receivers wide to the left. Ferguson back to throw, looking down the field, throws it way down the field for Downs, and Downs unable to come up with a catch as Clay Barnes goes back and makes a big play. Downs injured on the play, and the thing that scares you on that play, Downs about 6'1", Barnes about 5'8", but Barnes really did a great job that time.
And the ball a little underthrown too, and Downs again having to be a defender, and I believe he came down on his shoulder. He was up in the air and he landed sideways. We can see it on the replay. I believe he comes down on his shoulder.
You can see initially it looks as though Downs had position, but Barnes comes back and looks like the left shoulder. You're exactly right. Big play by Barnes that time, but Ferguson really put some air under that one. Great throw.
And I believe it was an option route too, as he had a guy on the inside receiver here running a little screen pass, just kind of his safety valve. He elected to go deep for Downs, and Downs had him beat, just a little underthrown. Good play by Barnes. And Downs goes up in the air and comes down on his shoulder. So
Dr. Mansell Wakeman out on the field there for any assistance that he might render the Sweetwater folks. As the officials telling Coach Webb what he can and can't do with his football team during this timeout. And he says you got to stay on the field. I can't come on the field, but we can get close enough to where you can hear me and I can hear you. That's really all that matters. So a free timeout, in other words. We'll take one as well. We'll be right back.
Hey, it's Jack Ryan. You've heard this. I wish there was a morning radio show playing country songs that we could really love. Well, now there is. Will Hine Wall in the morning with your forgotten favorites and only the new country you love on 96.7 Merle.
At OEB, we're committed to keeping you and your family safe. With the outbreak of the coronavirus, we understand you might be afraid to leave your house to get legal help. Now you don't have to. We can handle almost every aspect of your case electronically. Call 546-1111.
Well, Downs is up and leaving the field under his own power. And that's a big loss if Downs can't come back, because not only is he playing receiver, but he's playing linebacker on defense, and that's going to. So we'll check the play here and see if we can see exactly how he came down on that shoulder. As you see the ball in the air a long time, and there it is on the left shoulder when he came down. Right on that, Bradbury.
Also could have maybe knocked the breath out of him. The ground being hard and he coming down.
Did you see this?
On his side, but really.
Great job, guys. Great job, guys, as you see him landing right on that shoulder.
The blunt of that blow came down on his shoulder.
Ferguson back to throw, and Chapman coming in this time to provide the incomplete protection there, and it'll be 4th down for Sweetwater. So the Tiger defense doing exactly what Coach Webb asked them to do that series, get the ball back for the offense. Snap is there. Punt is away. A high spiraling kick that's trying to get away from Chapman. He'll take it on the near side, and Chapman will be knocked out of bounds at about the 13-yard line. So the Tigers leading 12-10. with 8:11 left, third quarter of play, have the football at their own 13-yard line. So the official winds the clock. And the Tigers will come to the line of scrimmage. Ashley under center. Chapman still the tailback. Barnes, first man through, and Barnes hit right at the line of scrimmage. Sweetwater doing a good job that time.
Up front tonight, Sweetwater really been physical, stopping the run and forcing the Tigers to go out on the corner, and which has been their bread and butter tonight, running the option. As Chapman comes off the field limping again, favoring that ankle. And you know, if Chapman goes down and Ewing's on the sideline, it's a big, big blow to the Rockwood Tigers offense and defense.
So Coach Webb has gotten the play in.
Rockwood will come out in a strong left formation, 2 wide receivers in the I formation, and probably delay a game against Rockwood.
Well, they had a little trouble that time deciding to play to get in the ball game, and it's going to bring up now second down and about 13. So the official marks it off. Coach Webb with the play in now, and the Tigers.
So now kind of digging themselves a hole right here. It's now 2nd and 13, and they've got the ball on the 8-yard line. So,
of course, the most important thing, taking care of the football.
And backed up as they let to go with the option again, and Ashley breaks it out again into the secondary and gets good yardage out to about the 22-yard line. And that play again, the one that's worked so well tonight for the Rockwood Tigers.
Well, and he makes the initial Sweetwater defender miss, and once he got by him, had good running room and just has such a great sense of weaving and finding his way and getting away from trouble. So big play as Lucas Kirkham into the ball game, carrying the play for Coach Webb now at tight end.
3rd and 1 for the Rockwood Tigers. And Barnes, I believe on his second effort, might have got the first down. He was stopped initially at the line of scrimmage and bounced it outside for a small gain. It's going to be close. Official looking. I believe he got it. First down, Rockwood. So that'll move the chains now, kind of getting a little breathing room out of their own end zone. And look for the Tigers, though, to continue to run that option, the counter option, as it's called, and just misdirection. And Brandon doing a great job tonight, running the offense and getting some yardage. Chapman back into the game at tailback as the Tigers line up in a double tight end formation. Wide receiver to the near side as Chapman will take the deep handoff, and he'll be lucky to get back to the line of scrimmage as Sweetwater again doing an excellent job up front stopping the run.
Well, it looks like he'll pick up about 2 yards as he gets it out to the 25-yard line. So be second down and about 8 for the Tigers. And
a real gutsy performance tonight from Reggie Chapman, playing on that sore ankle, and continues to run the ball hard.
And Clay Barnes, I think, playing about every play at fullback tonight, and as well as his defensive secondary. So no rest for him tonight as well. And again on the little delayed option, and this time Sweetwater plays it a little bit better as they come up, and Hutzel makes the stop. Again, lots of running room if Hutzel misses, though.
I believe it was just a missed block there by the offensive lineman, as there was a lot of running room, but there was just one guy there, and he wasn't touched, and that one guy brought down Ashley. But if he doesn't, like you said, a lot of running room in the secondary for the Rockwood quarterback. It'll bring up 3rd and 5 for the Rockwood offenses. They're going to line up in twins to the far side.
Lots of big third down plays in this ball game.
Ashley will drop back. He's looking for the tight end. Now he decides to scramble, something he's good at. Lowers his head. Big hit by the secondary for the Sweetwater Wildcats, and that'll come up short. It'll be about 4th and 4. Big play there by the Sweetwater defense.
Ashley got one big block, but just couldn't get enough to get out to get the first down. Sweetwater secondary doing a good job of that time too. So Wyatt Wilson will be in to punt the ball away,
and Ashley a big threat too when he starts to scramble and he gets into the open field. Big tackle there by the secondary, forcing the Tigers to punt.
Wilson averaging 29 yards in the first half. Gets a pass away that's going to fall in front of Ferguson, and it'll take a Rockwood bounce. So they'll have it down at the Sweetwater 32-yard line.
So after the Rockwood punt, Wildcats will take over again at their own 35-yard line, 1st and 10. They'll line up again in the formation similar to the old run and shoot with double tight ends. Ferguson under center.
Well, they just keep pounding it to Plemons up the middle, and they're trailing 12-10 now. Again, picking up almost 4 yards, so they're doing what you would like to do on 1st down, and that's get at least 4. Looking across as Downs still has not come back into the ball game. He's in. Okay, there he is. I was missing Downs, so good to see him back in the ball game.
I believe he was out for a few plays, just kind of gather himself and get back in there.
Again, Plemons, and Plemons gets it out to the 40-yard line, and Plemons will gain about 3 on the play, so it's another big 3rd down play. Boy, we've had a bunch of 3rd down plays in this ball game.
3rd downs are so critical in a football game, as they can either continue your drive or stall out there at the line of scrimmage. So big 3rd down here for the Sweetwater Wildcats.
So again, you would think that Ferguson may try to get outside and either throw or run, give him an option on what he can do. Downs in motion. And Downs out in the flat. He's open and makes the catch and has running room as he gets by Wilson and gets it all the way down to the Rockwood 45-yard line. Big play by Ben Downs.
You know, that's what they call it UT yak, yards after the catch, and that's so important with a receiver. And a good pass by Ferguson. He scrambled out and thought he looked to run there. He looks to run at first, and then he sees Downs out here in the flat, wide open. He makes a good catch, then turns it back inside and gets about 7 or 8 more yards. So big play there by Downs, as he's just an outstanding football player tonight.
Ferguson, quick pitch to Mercer. Mercer looking, and Holloway hangs on, and that'll be about a 3-yard loss.
Big play by Nick Holloway. He forced it inside, held his containment on the outside, and got some help making the tackle.
Well, they're going to say his forward motion got him up. It'll be about a 1.5 yard loss. So let's call it 2nd and 11. Boy, Brad, with Downs out in that receiving position and Ferguson at quarterback, really a different offensive look than we saw a couple of weeks ago.
Downs looks like he feels more comfortable out there running wide receiver and getting into the offense.
This time Ferguson gives to Plemons again, straight up the middle, and he'll get across the 45, down to about the 43-yard line. It'll be 3rd down and about 7.
I'm looking for the Wildcats to come back maybe with that little screen pass they tried there right before halftime, as no one was around Mercer in the flats, and they've not run it since. So look for them maybe to try something like that, or come back in with a little short passing game with Downs, as now they'll send 2 receivers to the near side in a twins formation, I backfield. And Ferguson will roll out to his left. He's looking for Downs. Instead, goes across the middle, almost intercepted by Barnes. And tough pass for Ferguson, throwing back across the middle, rolling to the left side. So very tough pass, and Sweetwater will come in faced with a punting situation.
And you might see Sweetwater, instead of waiting on this 3rd down, you might see them try to open up a little bit more on 2nd down. It seems though in the last couple series on 2nd down they've been content to run Plemons straight up the middle and then be faced with a big 3rd down play. High snap, but the kick will be away. Wobbly kick that Barnes will let hit. It takes a Sweetwater bounce, and it'll be downed at about the 5-yard line. So Rockwood again will be taking over, and again, special teams, you would like to have seen Barnes try to catch that one, eliminate about a 12-yard roll.
Well, what they say is if you're at the 10-yard line, it usually, if you're standing at the 10-yard line, you don't want to back up, you want to go ahead and catch it in there. If he catches at the 10-yard line, eliminates probably about 8 yards on the roll. So
the Tigers take over, 1st and 10. Ball at just across their 5-yard line. Chapman in the end zone. at the tailback position. Ashley this time gets it to Chapman.
Ball's
on the ground. Sweetwater picks it up, and Downs goes in for the score. And Brad, I tell you what, Kerry Brazel made a block that time to spring Chapman. He made a crunching block, and then the fumble occurred, and Sweetwater goes into the end zone.
And also,
this may be the block that Brazel hit. He put a crunching block to spring him loose. You'll see right here. Coming back in 15. Boom. There it is. I mean, that's the guy that's down.
And that was a great play by the safety, too, for the Sweetwater Wildcats. He came up and really put a lick on Chapman, causing the fumble. And Downs, we mentioned him all night long. He's around the football. He picks it up, runs into the end zone untouched to give the Wildcats a 16-12 lead. Big play right there for the Sweetwater defense.
Well, maybe we get another look here, and I tell you what, you'll see Brazel come back with a block. There it is right there as Brazel comes back, then a good hit on the runner, Chapman, and a heads-up play, as you mentioned, by the secondary. As there's the block, there's the hit, the ball laying loose. Downs picks it up and struts into the end zone.
Big play there by Plymouth. He made the hit, and Downs picks it up and gets into the end zone.
Good camera work, guys. Sweetwater now goes out 16-12, and the point after will be tried by Andy Chester. And again, Brad, the kicking game really important.
So the Wildcats will line up now for their extra point, leading 16-12 with a minute left here in the third quarter.
Snap is high, but they get it down, and the kick is good. So a good job again by Downs to get the high snap down. So Downs just an all-purpose player.
Kind of surprised there. The Wildcats didn't maybe try to go for two. Go for two and make it 18-12. If they miss the extra point, there's still not much difference. But then you have to make the Tigers score and kick an extra point to go ahead, which the extra points have been kind of wishy-washy here tonight. So
exactly right. Well, now we get ready for the Edwards kickoff as all the fine folks up at Edwards invite you to come by and look at their selection of athletic wear, casual wear, formal wear.
Getting close to Christmas too, so get out and do some early Christmas shopping.
Orvis says, I'll second that, Brad.
We voted at the Coke plant this morning that the Edwards kickoff advertisement is probably the best investment's been made in the last few years.
Okay.
I think the stock is rising as we speak in New York.
Chester will be kicking off. And deep for the Tigers is Barnes and Chapman. Chester's kick, high, long kick, and Barnes will take it in the end zone. So that will negate any return. Ball will be at the 20-yard line, and that's really what you like to see.
Good high kick. It's got good distance on it and making the Tigers start out at the 20. And they've got to go 80 yards to stick it in the end zone.
So it'll be 1st and 10 for the Tigers. Still in this football game. One touchdown puts them back in the lead. So now we go to crunch time with 1:06 left here in the third quarter of play. Big possession for the Tigers. Ashley to Barnes. Barnes has running room. Barnes will get it out to just shy of the 30-yard line. Norfolk and Downs over to make the stop for Sweetwater. It'll be second down and less than a yard.
And this game tonight really been filled with big plays. Neither team really has sustained a lengthy drive, but just big plays tonight, turnovers, and then big runs and special teams plays. So a lot of big plays tonight, both teams. As we're winding down here, probably the last play of the third quarter with about 30 seconds left.
Again, Barnes with the football. He'll have the first down as he keeps churning and gets it out to about the 34-yard line. So with that, it'll be Rockwood's ball, 1st and 10 at their own 34-yard line with 20.4 seconds left. Kenneth Teal coming into the ball game for the Tigers. And Coach Webb will let the clock run down. So at the end of 3 quarters of play, it's Sweetwater 17, Rockwood 12. We'll be back after this commercial break.
Muncie Pharmacy is your locally owned hometown pharmacy. They accept most insurances, so why go to the large chain pharmacies when you get better customer service at Muncie Pharmacy? Have a special prescription that needs compounding? Muncie Pharmacy can handle those needs as well. Muncie Pharmacy has a drive-through for your convenience and offers free delivery in the Oak Ridge area. And don't forget the gifts that we have available for all occasions.
Here at Muncie Pharmacy, we take the time to know you and treat you like family.
Tennessee Barns and Buildings in Jacksboro has all your storage building needs. At Tennessee Barns and Buildings, you can pick out your building, then custom design it how you want it, and then have it delivered. Our friendly staff will help you with all your design needs. Are you worried about financing? Well, at Tennessee Barns and Buildings, there's no credit check, so no one is turned down. Plus, you can rent to own your own building. Tennessee Barns and Buildings in Jacksboro says come on down and see Hannah or Mary Beth for your next building. Or call 423-449-8139.
Well, welcome back to Civitan Field as we'll start the 4th quarter here with the Rockwood Tigers trailing the Sweetwater Wildcats 17-12. Rockwood will have the ball at their own 34-yard line as they'll start the 4th quarter here. Wildcats defense getting back out on the field. Rockwood lining up in a strong left formation in the I backfield. Holloway split to the near side and Brazel to the far side. Handoff goes to Barnes, and he's stuffed at the line of scrimmage by Sweetwater defender Jesse Belk. So that'll bring up 2nd down, 10 to go. Play coming in for the Tigers. Brought in by Brian Boston. He'll replace Holloway at flanker. Tigers will line up again in their 1-back now with 4 wideouts, so kind of a spread offense here for the Rockwood Tigers. Ashley looking over the defense. He's back to pass. He's looking for a receiver down the field. He airs it out to Chapman, and a good defensive play by Downs, as that was just one-on-one coverage there with Downs covering Chapman, and fortunately not intercepted there by Downs.
Downs really had a chance to go for the interception there. It just didn't get turned around quickly enough to get his body in position. Good throw by Ashley.
He really aired it out. It was just a one-on-one coverage there, and fortunately Downs didn't turn around to see the ball. As you can see again, Ashley really throws it a long way down the field, and Downs just battling and makes an outstanding play.
Of course, and Chapman running Ribley already on a sore ankle.
So Ashley will drop back again. He's looking for Barnes out here in the flats, and Barnes just trying to run a little bit before he caught it and was under heavy pressure there by the Sweetwater defenders. Close to being a lateral, but the official on top of it rules it an incomplete pass, so it'll bring up 4th down, and Rockwood having the punting out of their own territory again to the Sweetwater Wildcats, and back for the Wildcats is their all-purpose man, number 11, Ben Downs.
Of course, and Coach Webb trying to catch Sweetwater in a little nap there on the long pass, and you have to try that sometimes to loosen them up a little bit.
Low snap. White Wilson doing a good job of bringing up the football. Downs takes it at about the 35, and he's corralled about the 40-yard line.
That time really not very good control of the football. If it had been hit close to the reception, might have been a fumble.
Sweetwater will take over their own 40-yard line with 11 minutes left here in the 4th quarter. Wildcats leading 17-12. Coach Webb needing a big defensive stand from his Rockwood Tigers. Wildcats will come to the line with their double tight formation. Wishbone backfield. Something they've run very well tonight, as Ferguson will give it off to Plemons up the middle, and he stopped in his tracks at the line of scrimmage.
Ben Pemberton doing a great job that time of really stacking it up front.
And that's all you can ask out of your up front guys on the defense. You just ask them to hold the offensive linemen up, keeping off the linebackers and giving the linebackers some room to play.
So it's going to be second down, and let's just call it 10 again, as not much movement of the chain at all that time.
Wishbone formation again for the Wildcats. Toss sweep right to Downs. He picks up about 2 yards on the run. Good play there by Wilson and Pear and other defenders for the Rockwood Tigers.
And the Sweetwater coaching staff at this point, they're really not taking many chances, but still 10 minutes left on the clock. So,
and another 3rd down and 7 for the Sweetwater Wildcats.
Feeling somewhat confident with their defense.
Well, they should. They've done a good job all night long of stopping the run. They've allowed some big runs, but not a lot of big plays. So far for the Wildcats, played well defensively. So now they've got 2 wideouts, 2 wing backs, and a running back as they send Downs in motion to the far side. He runs a little out route.
There's Downs again, and Downs is free down the sidelines. Gets away from Barnes and will be down.
Brought down by Holloway, and all that was just a little out pass to Downs in the flat. Not real good tackling over there on the far sideline, allowing Downs to sprint all the way down to about the Rockwood 5-yard line. So big play again, Ben Downs. As you can see on the replay, they send Downs in motion. He runs a little out down in the flats, makes a good catch, gets away from the Rockwood defense, and gets all the way down to the 5-yard line. So a 52-yard pass play for the Sweetwater Wildcats allows them to be at the Rockwood 5-yard line, and the flag by the referee, probably too much time.
No, that's going to be an illegal participation. We had
too many
12
men
men
on the
in the field and 1 left after the huddle. So that'll be against Sweetwater.
So that'll back them up to their own 10-yard line. It'll be 1st and goal again from the Rockwood 10-yard line. Maybe they did that purposely, giving them a little room to operate. Probably not, but something to think about. Sweetwater now going to take a timeout. With 9:32 left in the 4th quarter, we'll be back in 1 minute.
At OEB, we're committed to helping people who get injured. With the outbreak of the coronavirus, we understand you might be afraid to leave your home to get legal help. We want you to know that at OEB, we can get you your help by just picking up the phone. We can take care of almost every aspect of your case electronically, so you don't have to leave your house. The future may feel uncertain, but we can get through it together. Injured? You still deserve justice. Call 546-1111. Call today.
Well, welcome back to Civitan Field. 9:32 left in the 4th quarter. Sweetwater Wildcats have the ball on the Rockwood Tigers 10-yard line. It's 1st and goal after a 52-yard pass play to Ben Downs. Sweetwater comes to the line of scrimmage. Ferguson rolls out. He's looking for the wide receiver. He's hit. Good play there by J.R. Isham as he puts pressure on Ferguson, forcing him to throw prematurely, and it's an incomplete pass. That'll bring up 2nd down and goal for Sweetwater.
Brad Ferguson doing a good job that time of just not trying to do something fancy. Just take the hit, eat it up, and because if you get a field goal here, then you got to have a touchdown, a 2-point conversion.
Sweetwater will come to the line now in their wishbone formation. Ferguson under center. Toss sweep to Downs. He's got running room on the right side. Good play by J.R. Isham. As he forces him back inside, he gets help from his fellow defenders, and he took on 2 players there, Ron, and he really did an outstanding job forcing Downs back in against the grain.
Well, looked like Downs should have cut it up a little sooner that time. Looked like he had the alley there, strung it on out, and as you mentioned, Isham doing a great job. Looked like he should have cut that one up just a little sooner.
Fatigue probably starting to set in on both teams, as many of these guys have played both ways all of the plays tonight, and probably starting to cool night also, and so that allows them to stay a little fresh, but a lot of these guys going both ways. Wildcats will send 2 receivers to the far side.
Wouldn't be surprised here, Brad, to see them just line it up in the center of the field.
Ferguson back to pass. Crossing route. And that pass completes a number 23 for the Wildcats.
Well, so much for trying to line it up in the center of the field, but you got a real big decision here now. 4th down and about 3. And again,
that pass play completed to number 23, Casper the Ghost Keller, nicknamed there for all the sports fans watching tonight as the Sweetwater Wildcats take a timeout. Big decision here, 4th and 3, with 8:12 left here in the fourth quarter.
Not for me. I kick the field goal and make them score and go for 2.
Obviously, it's a big decision, though, for the Sweetwater coaching staff as they elect to take a timeout.
We'll be right back.
Reminds you, think safety first, last, and always.
Since 1921, Johnson has never wavered from building the most dependable outboards on the water. And they are built today like they always have been. Reliable and hard-working, yet the most advanced carbureted two-stroke outboard you can buy. As always, these outboards feature trusted performance anchored by state-of-the-art Johnson technology. And like your favorite tackle box, they're loaded with features to fit your style of boating. Drop by Bunch Marine and ask Curtis to show you the fine line of Johnson outboards, or call us at 376-7227.
Welcome back now to Civitan Field with 8:12 remaining here in the fourth quarter as the Wildcats lead 17-12. Joined now by Mike Richards. Featherlegs known to many of the fans.
Big play right here, Bradbury. This could mean the ball game right here.
And the kick is up, and it's no good, Mike Richards.
And that's exactly what the Rockwood Tigers needed. You know, we were afraid for the situation that if they did score, that it could put it out of reach. Not from the standpoint of minutes left or anything like that, just from the hearts of the Rockwood Tigers. But with them missing the field goal try, we're still in it, Bradbury. Anything can happen at this point.
And you don't question the call by the Sweetwater coaching staff. A field goal puts them up 20-12, a touchdown and 2-point conversion. So, you know, you don't question them, but
in high school football, if people watching right now, Bradbury, a lot of times you might question it, but this Sweetwater kicker is an excellent kicker. Just one of those things, he did miss it. It can happen to anybody, but he is an outstanding kicker.
Actually, give off to Chapman on the give. No running room. Been like that all night, Mr. Richards. No running room for the running backs from Rockwood. They're getting outside fairly well, but up the middle, there's just nothing there.
Well, and something, too, we've got to look at, Brad. I don't know what you and Ron talked about up until this point. I didn't hear y'all's commentary. But Sweetwater feels at least Rockwood's going to run it 95% of the time, and we just haven't been able to keep them honest tonight.
Try to bring up second and about 8. Give to Chapman, and he stopped in the backfield again, Mike. I'm surprised we're not going to the option a lot more now. That's been our bread and butter tonight, the little counter option. And
well,
Brandon's done a great job tonight making his reads, and it's just tough running up the middle.
If we're not going to be able to throw that little hot pass, you're right, Brad. They'll have to run that option. It's just the fact putting everybody in the box. It's tough to run it between tackles right now. And the longer it goes and the more they realize the Rockwood Tigers aren't going to do it, they're going to continue to fudge on us, and that's what the Sweetwater Wildcats are doing at this point.
With a timeout on the field, 7 minutes, 8 seconds left here in the fourth quarter. We'll take a break.
Hey, it's Jack Ryan. Listeners are always wanting more music. So guess who it is that's giving it to you? We now have hour-long commercial-free playlists all day long. Over an hour of back-to-back songs and 0 commercials on 96.7 Merle.
At OEB, we're committed to keeping you and your family safe. With the outbreak of the coronavirus, we understand you might be afraid to leave your house to get legal help. Now you don't have to. We can handle almost every aspect of your case electronically. Call 546-1111.
Well, welcome back to Civitan Field. Big play here for the Rockwood Tigers. 3rd and 7, Mike. Not really a passing situation for the Rockwood Tigers, but you pretty much got to get something going.
Well, for the most part for this 1998 Rockwood Tigers, there's not really that many passing situations.
Ashley back to pass. He's looking out in the flats for Nick Holloway, and Ben Downs covered him like a blanket, Mike.
And almost interception, and if he had intercepted Bradbury, it would have been 6 more points for the Sweetwater Wildcats. Rockwood really lucky on that play, and you can tell Ben Downs, he's really disappointed he didn't get it.
We've said all night long, Ben Downs has been all over the field. He's been everywhere.
And you can tell he's an athlete. They depend on him a lot for everything, and just lucky he didn't get that one.
Tigers fake a punt. Wyatt Wilson's got it. He rounds the far end, and he picks up the first down. I was about to tell you, Mike, we had a new punter back there, Kerry Brazel. Wyatt Wilson's the up back. They fake it to Wyatt, and with good speed, Wyatt gets around the corner to pick up a huge first down for the Rockwood Tigers. Gutsy call by Coach John Webb from his own 30-yard line.
And I couldn't tell that was Brazel back there, Bradbury. At my age, it's
well, I was going to try to tell you.
I should have looked in the TV screen, but Wyatt Wilson, the up back, has excellent speed, and it showed right then.
Big play for the Rockwood Tigers. 1st and 10, Ashley on the option. He turns it up, got running room up the middle, and he's gone, Mike Richards. Brandon Ashley is going to score a touchdown, and that'll put the Rockwood Tigers up 18-17. And there it is, Mike Richards, the counter option. We've been saying it all night long. It's there. Brandon Ashley gets it on the corner, turns it up the middle, and there was no doubt about it.
And hand that to Coach John Webb.
And here you're going to see a replay, Mike, of the fake punt.
With the fake punt and running that option play when he needed to. That's just outstanding coaching. I've got to say that at this point. It caught Sweetwater off guard on both plays.
Huge play. And here's the keeper by Brandon Ashley. A 65-yard scamper, Mike Richards, to put the Tigers up 18-17. And it's a fake field goal. Wilson trying to get around the end, and he's going to be stopped at about the 5-yard line. So
fake the extra point, which actually was another outstanding call. That one just didn't happen to work, Bradbury, but that would have put them up then 20-17. That 3 points would have meant a lot of difference, especially with this Sweetwater Wildcat field goal.
And by not getting it, you don't lose anything. If you kick the extra point, it's 19-17. If you don't, it's 18-17, so not really a big difference there. With 6:44 left, we're going to keep it right here as the Tigers lead 18-17.
What an exciting football game it is, too. One thing you got to hand it to here, homecoming 98 for the Rockwood Tigers. If you like exciting football, sports fans, it's just a great night for East Tennessee high school football. If you're home watching on TV, you're missing one right here at Civitan Field.
And Mike, we got another Edwards kickoff here. It's getting close to Christmas time. Visit Edwards Shoe Store in downtown Harriman for all your clothing needs. But Mike, as we've said, you know, the Rockwood offense kind of been stagnant tonight. That play right there put a little light into them. Gutsy call by Coach Webb. He gets them the first down, and Brandon Ashley runs it 65 yards for a touchdown. Sweetwater return the kick. They're going to get good field position at about the 37-yard line. There's a fumble on the play. Who's got the football?
Looks like Rockwood does.
They're
have
still
the
at the
football.
bottom of the pile.
No signal yet.
And they come up with it, Mike. I mean, it's going to take an act of Congress to change that call because the Rockwood player came up with a football, and there's the call. As you can hear it in the press box, Rockwood recovers the fumble.
Unbelievable, because all 11 Rockwood players knew that they had the football.
And the tides are turning, Mike Richards. You can feel it here in Civitan Field.
It's funny how just one little play, Bradbury, can change the momentum around, and that's exactly what happened. And now
here's the replay.
Take it back to the to the field goal.
And it's probably not a guy for Sweetwater that you want returning the football.
Trying to
make the initial for Rockwood, Brian Boston, a freshman, comes up with a fumble recovery. Big play for him. And now Rockwood just running the football right up the middle and getting big yardage.
And
what a turn of events.
And look for Rockwood Tigers to keep it on the ground now, Bradbury. They're going to be happy just to pound it out on the ground, let that clock run down, and then still the possibility if we end up with 4th down to kick a field goal. But the clock did not start on that particular play. I don't know if the referees will tell them to count it down to a certain place, but really it just stayed right where it was at.
So the Tigers line up now, 2nd and short. From the Sweetwater 27-yard line, Ashley running the same option again, slips and falls, loses a couple yards. That'll make it about 3rd and 4, 3rd and 5 now for the Tigers. And I tell you what, Mike, these last 2 minutes have been exciting football.
Some of the most exciting football we've seen around here in several years, Bradbury. What I like about Brandon Ashley, even though he slipped on that play, the play that he ran in for a touchdown, that was the old Brandon Ashley. He got a taste of it again, what he did all last season before he was injured with a knee injury. I believe he's wanting to do it again before this ball game's over.
3rd and 4 for the Rockwood Tigers. They line up double tights, I formation, try the freeze play, and they got it, Mike Richards. Big play for the Rockwood Tigers. The old freeze play, it's been around for years. You've seen it here many times.
I know for a fact that freeze play has been working for the past 12 years. You know,
no doubt about it.
I percent of the time, and it continues to work once again here at Homecoming with 5 minutes and 30 seconds remaining in this football game.
And it's a play that, on paper, it shouldn't work. But when you get your adrenaline going and it's, you know, there's 5.5 minutes left in the game and you're getting jacked up and you want to get back there in the backfield, you jump off sides. First down for the Rockwood Tigers. To give to Nick Holloway up the middle, there's nothing there. The Sweetwater defense, again, tough up the middle.
Between tackles, Rockwood's having a tough time. The only thing I like about it this time versus 3 minutes ago, Bradbury, is that clock is ticking with Rockwood having the lead. So that makes that play just fine with everybody here at Civitan Field tonight.
But still, Mike Richards, a lot of time left, and we've seen what's happened the last 2 minutes.
Sure, and turnovers, you know, you don't want to say it. Turnovers has been the demise of Rockwood this season in some of the ball games. It's hurt them here tonight. Just hope that they don't have another turnover in this last 5 minutes.
Ashley on the quarterback keeper picks up a couple yards. It'll leave about 3rd and 7 for the Rockwood Tigers as the clock continues to tick down close to 4 minutes.
Brad, you might be able to tell me, you've been involved in football games with the Sweetwater Wildcats. I talked about it earlier tonight on another show. This Sweetwater-Rockwood rivalry is something else regardless of what the record is for either team on a particular season.
It's a great rivalry, Mike Richards, as the Tigers come up. They run the option again. Ashley picks up big yardage, lowers his head, and he gets down to the 13-yard line. Mike, that play has been here all night long, both sides of the field. He's picked up numerous amounts of yardage, and he continues to run hard. And Mike, as we see on the replay, it's just a counter option. The guard pulls, good block by White Wilson. He hooks the end, and he just gets down to running room, and he picks up a huge first down.
Coach Webb, Bradbury going to it now. That's almost the same. It's a different play, but the old Rambo play. You always have that bread and butter play. Coach Webb has picked a good time to run it here in the last 5 minutes of the football game.
And there's a give there up the middle on first down to Nick Holloway. Hard running room up the middle, but he does pick up a couple yards. And I was told by Maurice Grief, been here many years, Mike Richards, that this senior class has never beaten Sweetwater. So among other things, big region game tonight.
And I'm trying to think as you gave me that statement.
Final score there on the screen, Kingston 36, Loudon 6.
And Loudon looks like they're going to be coming into the Rockwood region next year along with Austin East Roadrunner, so it's going to be an interesting region next year for sure.
Again, the Tigers hand off to Nick Holloway going off right tackle. That'll bring up 3rd and about 3 for the Rockwood Tigers.
You know, one thing, Brad, I'm still thinking about that statement that Maurice Grief made that you gave to the fans here. I'm trying to recall back for the last 4 years, and I guess that is definitely a fact. This is the first chance for these seniors to
another big win for the Harriman Blue Devils tonight. They go to Jellicoe and win 21-7. As the Tigers come to the line, 3rd and 3. And again, the freeze play.
If they pull it off again, I hope there was no movement in the Rockwood line whatsoever. That's unbelievable because
they do it
definitely against Sweetwater. I didn't catch the number, but he was practically at our
I don't want to tell his number, Mike Richards. He might have some kinfolk in Rockwood, and we don't want to say anything.
That's unbelievable.
He was back there trying to tell a secret to Brandon Ashley.
You can't help but feel for him. Now, something else, dude, I don't know if y'all talk about it or not. On that freeze play, and Brad, you know about this, it's not just a matter of the hut or whatever, but sometimes a ball player or two will talk a little bit of jargon and let the defense.
Not in Rockwood, Sweetwater game.
How they're going to be coming at them. And
I'm not sure if I agree with you there, Mike. There's nothing said on the line of scrimmage in football. I promise you. I have never once heard.
I've been told that. I've never been out there on that line of scrimmage. I've just been told that. Then, of course, that might upset a defensive player. And
there's been a lot of discussion of 4 lanes up on a line of scrimmage.
Speaking of 4 lanes, now the Wildcats could lose a few ball players because Highway 411 is about to be completed down
That's
near
exactly
Fargo,
right.
Tennessee.
3rd and short for the Rockwood Tigers. Ashley on the sneak, Mike, and he got pushed back, and he didn't get it.
Yeah, great penetration there by the Sweetwater Wildcats. I'll tell you, only 2 minutes and 5 seconds remaining in the football game. These Sweetwater Wildcats, they're still fighting. They're wanting that football back for that one last chance.
And he lost yardage on that, too, leaving about 4th and a long yard.
And I'm not sure. I'm just glad I'm not in Coach Webb's position here. You remember now, Greg Ewing, a regular field goal kicker, he's out with a knee injury. Wyatt Wilson, an outstanding kicker.
Coach Webb going to take a timeout. He let the clock run down as far as he could. It's at 1:38. Tigers lead 18-17. So at 4th and 1, the Tigers elect to go for it. They give it up to Nick Holloway. They didn't give it, Mike Richards. But a minute and a half left. If you go for the field goal and you miss it, the ball moves back to the 20-yard line.
And that
you give up 15 yards. So
very good point, Brad Berry. Coming back out to the 20, of course, that lessens the yardage that the Sweetwater Wildcats have to go with it. So, Coach Webb, I completely agree with that call. A long way to go in high school football with only a minute and 32 seconds to go. Not that it can't be done, but I would rather take my chances inside the 10.
And your defense has played well tonight. Sweetwater's not had a real big play, but, you know, anything can happen. They line up with 3 wideouts, 2 to the near side. Ferguson back to pass. He's looking for downs. He opts for the receiver in the flats, and he gets out of bounds, stopping the clock.
Only took 7 seconds off. It seemed like 35 seconds.
He picked up some yardage, but nothing hurt us.
Nothing hurts,
no harm done. You don't let anybody behind you now as the clock's down to 1:25.
Bradbury, what a great football game here at Homecoming 98 in Rockwood, Tennessee. Just an unbelievable game.
Wildcats line up now. 2 wideouts, 2 wingbacks, 1 running back. Ferguson takes the snap. He drops back, looking for a receiver. He finds Downs, and I tell you what, Mike Richards, I've not seen Downs drop a pass all night, but I believe he tried to turn his head upfield, looked for running room, and he dropped the pass.
That's exactly right. I don't know if they have a replay or not, but it was just one of those deals for Downs, an outstanding athlete. He thought he had the pass. Just wanted to sneak a peek there to see if anybody was coming before he caught the football. So many guilty for that. And here's the replay of it. And watch Downs there. Just take a little peek, but right before the ball gets there,
you can see his head.
See the head turning. And, you got to feel for him regardless of whose team he's on. I'm sure he's an outstanding football player for the Sweetwater Wildcats, but it's just one of those things. We see it happen every day in college and the pros.
We're going to keep it right here, Mike Richards, with a minute 19 left here in the 4th quarter as Rockwood leads 18-17. And, the game kind of started out slow. Both teams kind of sluggish back and forth up till halftime, up through the midway through the 3rd quarter. Boom, a fake punt. The tide turns. Rockwood gains momentum. They go up on a big run, 65-yard run by Brandon Ashley. Some big plays along with that, and they're on top 18-17.
And salute Coach Webb and his staff on that fake punt, and then the play calling there in just a 2-minute segment. Turn this football game around for the Rockwood Tigers.
Big play there by Ferguson as he was looking for Downs going up the sideline, and he picks up the 1st down and gets out of bounds also, stopping the clock at 1 minute and 11 seconds.
Good job there of picking up 1st down, getting out of bounds with it, stopping the clock. Although that was a lot of east-west running and those seconds ticking off. When you're that deep in your own territory in high school football, it's a tough deal unless you break that one big play to take it that many yards.
1st and 10 for the Sweetwater Wildcats. Ball about their own 15-yard line. Ferguson back to pass. He's under pressure. He's got a man wide open down the field. And he was probably just being rushed so much he couldn't see him, Mike Richards, but that's a sin that you don't commit. You don't let anybody behind you with a minute and 6 seconds left.
When you said that, Bradbury, I didn't even see him. He was so far downfield. I was looking basically at the play, and then when you made that statement, I looked about the 45-yard line. Not a Rockwood defender within 15 yards of him. I don't even believe that they knew he had gone downfield. So fortunate set of circumstances for the Rockwood Tigers that the quarterback did not see him.
2nd and 10 now for the Sweetwater Wildcats. Ferguson under center. He drops back looking for a receiver. He's looking deep to Downs. And what a defensive play by Clay Barnes, Micah Richards. Downs had the ball. He's got the height advantage on Barnes, and Barnes comes up with a huge defensive play.
Clay Barnes, the sophomore, and you know, people talk about him about the sophomore running back, but you can tell right here on the replay that Clay Barnes can do more than just run that football.
And Downs had him beat, Mike, and just a big play. He gets his hand in there and just strips it out.
Actually, he had the football. I mean, it was basically a reception.
As you can see right here, he catches the football, and Barnes just sticks his hand up there and strips it away. Great play. 3rd and 10 for the Wildcats. Ferguson drops back. He's going back to it again. He has Downs again. And it's intercepted by number 15, Kerry Brazel, a sophomore for the Rockwood Tigers, Mike Richards. And they went to the well one too many times. Both times, Downs is wide open. The ball's just underthrown by Ferguson, and Downs coming up with a huge turnover.
And that time, Brazel, the sophomore, just does an outstanding job. Downs, you know, football just didn't get to him that time like it did on that last play. And Rockwood's going to be able to take a knee now. And sophomore is playing big here in this final minute for the Rockwood Tigers.
And Brazel doing what he's supposed to do at his safety position, Mike, not to let anyone get behind him. He comes over, takes it at its highest point, and gets the interception. Great coaching and great technique there by the Rockwood coaching staff.
48.5 seconds remaining here at Homecoming 98 for the Rockwood Tigers. And Bradbury, it looks like Homecoming is going to be sweet for the Rockwood Tigers, but if we were talked 5 minutes ago, it wasn't looking like that.
And that's the excitement of high school football, Mike Richards. And you know, there's been some gutsy performances tonight with Greg Ewing out. White Wilson's had to take on some different roles as kicker and punter. Reggie Chapman, playing with a sore ankle, played outstanding tonight, running hard. And Brandon Ashley running hard. Clay Barnes playing the whole game at fullback.
Yeah, that's true. And, you know, Greg Ewing also a linebacker position there that has to be filled. You know, Nick Holloway plays big. You know, when you lose Greg Ewing, you're not just losing one football player. You're losing 3 or 4 positions there. A lot of people had to step up for the Rockwood Tigers, and they've done so.
And that's part of football. You have 11 people, and it takes 11 people to win. There's not just one person that does everything, and tonight's a great showing of that. It took the whole 11 members of the Rockwood football team, and a lot of young guys stepped up tonight, and it was good for Coach Webb to get a lot of guys in and get tested. You're not just playing a rinky-dink school tonight at Homecoming. You're playing the Sweetwater Wildcats, a tradition and a power last couple years, and you've had a chance to play some young guys and get some experience.
Yeah, and you know, the Rockwood Tigers, when they play as a unit, take your hats off too, you know, to the offensive line. A young offensive line for the Rockwood Tigers, with the exception of Derek Pear and Wyatt Wilson. And Derek Pear, actually, this is his first year playing the offensive line, a fullback on offense before this year. So Rockwood Tigers, young in the line, a lot of experience. They're coming around as a unit. Same with the defensive line. Our linebacker core has been intact really for several years. But outstanding job by the Rockwood Tigers.
As the clock continued to tick down, we're under 30 seconds now as Ashley brings us into the line of scrimmage. 3rd down, probably be the last play of the football game. Clock rolls down. We have movement on the line of scrimmage.
I believe what happened there looked to me like the Sweetwater Wildcats tried to swipe the football before it was centered. But no, they're saying just procedure call on the Rockwood Tigers.
But I'm sure he probably told the Rockwood Tiger offensive lineman, hey, buddy, I'm sorry. Probably no jargon down there on the, you know, no trash talking, as you said earlier. Not a lot going on. Has been a well-played game, though, tonight between both teams. Always a good grudge match between the Tigers and the Wildcats. That'll be the last play of the game, folks, as the Rockwood Tigers victorious in Homecoming 98 as they win over the Sweetwater Wildcats 18-17. We'll be back in 2 minutes.
Y'all ready for this?
At OEB, we know lives have changed. Parents have become teachers, and our homes are now our offices. The roads may seem empty, but people are still driving and still working. And when they get injured because someone else was careless, they know they can still depend on us. We are OEB Law, and the one thing that hasn't changed is our commitment to helping people right here at home. We're just a phone call away. 865-546-1111. OEB Law.
Meeting on the field after the Rockwood Tigers are victorious here tonight. Homecoming 98 with a victory, 18-17 over the Sweetwater Wildcats. Big win in Region 2A for the Rockwood Tigers.
It's a great night for Rockwood Tiger football, Bradbury. But, you know, at the same time, you've got to feel for the Sweetwater Wildcats. And, of course, this is the first time I've seen them play this year because I'm always at the Rockwood games. But I've heard that they've had some real misfortune happen to them all year long. It's not a bad football team. You know, when you look at they came in tonight 1-4, you thought, well, maybe they're just struggling real bad this year without very much talent. After watching them, I don't think that's really the case. It's just sometimes a football team will be snake bit, and I think this is one football team that is right now.
They've just had some bad breaks, Mike, throughout the year, and they're at their second quarterback now. They've made a quarterback change. Downs was previously the quarterback, and Ferguson a running back. It looks like now they're getting comfortable with Ferguson under the center and Downs out running tailback and wide receiver. So it looks like they found a good combination now, and they've got some games left this year. They've got 4 games left. You know, it's not out of the question now. They've still got a lot of time to prepare and get ready. Week in and week out, you have to take one game at a time. But, you know, hats off to their coaching staff. They came in here tonight, and their guys, they could have laid down being the opponent on homecoming. It's usually a automatic win. So some people think that's why you bring them in. But they brought in a good Sweetwater team tonight, and they played hard. And their coaches have to be proud of them.
Yeah,
but now you move on to next week.
And you've got to, I will say this, though, Bradbury. I am certainly glad that the Rockwood Tigers gets a victory here tonight. It's going to be so much better looking at it after this game with 2 wins in this region versus 1 loss versus the other way around. So you've got to feel for the Sweetwater Wildcats, but the Rockwood Tigers hung in there, really looked down for them for a while until that last, and you're going to have to tell me what minute mark it was. They went with a fake punt with White Wilson picking up the first down, and then Brandon Ashley takes it in from there on the long run. It looked like Brandon Ashley of completely turned the football game around when it looked like victory was in the grasp for the Sweetwater Wildcats.
Well, with a score of 18-17, the Rockwood Tigers are victorious back here at Civitan Field. Again, Rockwood Tigers victorious over the Sweetwater Wildcats, 18-17, as Coach Webb's joined the staff from Big Wolf Radio for the post-game show. Mike Richards, another night of exciting high school football here at Civitan Field.
And so much excitement on homecoming. You know, Brad, this is my 15th year of being here in Rockwood. I always say there's nothing like homecoming in Rockwood, Tennessee. It's great to see a lot of your old teammates. My son, Rod Richards, came in press box a few minutes ago. A lot of the ball players, I was talking to Robbie Newby down there a little while ago, a lot of guys from these 91, 92 teams. I know from the 76 team, some players are here, and I'm just mentioning some names that I know. A lot of history in Rockwood, Tennessee. They've been playing the game for a long, long time. It's good to see the alumni come back on homecoming week.
Been playing it since 27, I think, probably went to a 4-lane.
And, you know, as you know, a lot of these fans know here in Rome County, I'm from Oak Ridge. Oak Ridge only became a city in 1943. I was born in 45. But
you might want to be quiet right now. You're fixing to tell your age.
Rockwood had been playing football for a long, long time before my hometown even became a city.
And I tell you what's exciting about seeing a lot of these old guys is that's what it's all about. You know, we had fans like that when we played, and you know, it just goes on, and that's what builds a tradition. But, you know, one thing, Coach Webb's got to be happy tonight. Got to go up the mountain, long ride, and they face an outstanding running back, Tommy Bolin. Big game for the Tigers next week, but they have to stay focused, take one game at a time, and just play hard the rest of the season because they're 2-1 right now in the region.
Look forward to the Jellicoe trip next week, and I'm sure all the Roane County teams look forward to next Friday night because it's football weather in Tennessee now, Brad.
That's exactly right. Tennessee Vols travel down on the Plains tomorrow to face the Auburn Tigers. Big game for them. A lot of baseball action going on now with the playoffs. So very exciting time as the weather starts to change and it gets to be football time in Tennessee. For Mike Richards, Ron Berry, Tony Brown, stay tuned for the Scoreboard Show with Featherlegs, Donnie Davis, and Ron Berry. I'm Brad Berry. Until next time, have a good week.
Y'all ready for this? I caught the first bus, I could hop from there.